Just firing up the stream and letting the world know we exist. Bam and bam. Maybe? Yes? Please? No? Okay. I almost just pasted a character name I looked up in my Twitter. That would have been weird. Just random name. No context, no nothing, just name. Here we go. Hello, welcome to the Electric Metropolis video game tour. I'm AD Springer, also known as Corbinian, and we're doing yet another episode of Travelers of Galantine, a Traveler 5 RPG set in the far future. And some people are in trouble, and don't worry, they'll be perfectly fine, and nothing bad will ever happen to them. But
Hear it there, folks. That's a verbal contract.
But everyone knows that a contract is a contract is a contract only between who?
GMs.
Yeah, sure.
And their players.
No. In fact, it is the year 1111 of Imperial Reckoning of the Third Imperium. The Third Imperium is in the height of its golden age, enjoying the rulership of Emperor Strefan Elia Alkalakoi. Long may he reign. It has been a full year since the armistice ended the Fifth Frontier War between the Zodani Consulate and the Third Imperium. With returned to status quo de jure, but de facto, the Sword Worlds Confederation have lost many of its worlds to become a new Imperial client state formed in the aftermath. A year of postbellum in the Spinward Marches sector has seen a dynamic shift of recovery, renewal, and opportunity for many a traveler to benefit from. Not the least of which, the lifting of the sector-wide amber status by the Traveler's Aid Society. Between the interests of the mentalist Zodani, the Imperials with their Darrian Confederation allies, seeking to uphold their self-appointed warrant of restoration, and the fiercely independent Swordworlders, the will of humanity is made manifest in courts of high pageantry, the respectable private courts of TAS member lounges, to courts low and dark of spacer bars. Among the million stars, we look upon the shining jewel of the Darrian Confederation, Darrian. And not to the beauteous world below, but to the high port. And it's busy with ships, people, and intrigue. And as there we shall go. Professor Calvier Tusani and VDWU Rep Niak N have had an opportunity to, as some of the travelers in their group have been busy arranging for the ship and arranging for some artifact that came into their possession that is poised to make quite a bit of money for the group. The two of you have some opportunity to enjoy the incredibly advanced high port with holographic screens and various languages plastered over various storefronts. And even when you came in, you were given little data slates to help you navigate the very almost chaotic and discordant assembled high port. As it is Darrian, but it's also to help people to various aliens from all over who come and go to navigate the area, but also people who aren't used to this level of technology. The level of technology in display is the sort of stuff Professor Calvier would have seen in certain laboratories and certain ports. Niak N, this would be this. You would have seen similar tech to this on certain worlds back in the High Federation. It's been a while since you've seen this level of tech. Different though, because it's meant for humaniforms, not hyperforms, so it's a different kind of setup, but they seem to be very accommodating to whoever's here. But yeah, what will the two of you be up to in the high port?
Well, while they're doing their thing, Calvert thinks this might be a good place to actually learn something new anyhow. Go around, see if anyone's posted any, something on the wanted board saying like, hey, I'm doing a lecture on this, or hey, I'm doing a lecture on that. Try and soak in as much as you can.
Before we do that, I almost forgot, because I always do, we need to roll for the intuitions. Everyone, roll me 2d6.
Good.
For Jamie Winchester, I need you two to re-roll. Hensley and Jamie, I need you to re-roll.
Hey.
So the
Do I re-roll again?
1 week, I'll get.
Oh, dang it. Winchester and Hensley, re-roll. No.
Now Jamie Winchester.
And Hensley re-roll. This is what happens when they happen to line up on each other like that.
Now Winchester and me.
Yep.
Oh wait, no.
Have you
Now
kept
Winchester
track
and
of what would any of these roll-offs would mean?
I know what the highest
okay.
is second and last would be.
Okay. Go ahead, Winchester. Do another one.
I don't know. I
Well,
already
we're
did.
tied. You and I are tied.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
No, I think
okay.
it's all finished now.
Okay.
I think I came out on top.
So we have highest is 7, which is insight. Second highest is
It's Mike at 4, I think.
Oh wait.
Oh no,
That
Mike and
means-
Inslee are both at 4.
Yeah, Mike and I have to re-roll now.
Yep.
Gosh darn it.
Oh
There,
no!
Oh no!
There you go.
12 insight for the Hiver. 10 curiosity for the Ursine. And 3 luck for the Professor.
Yay.
That's the most complicated insight we've had in a while. But yes, Calvier can indeed look into various lectures that would be held. There are some that are being held up in the High Port, and some in the various arcologies and cities of Darrian itself.
We're at the High Port right now, so let's stick where we are. I don't really mind if it's any sort of. It can be any. What's it called? Any subject. He just wants to learn. Because this place is super high tech.
Say, Professor, have you been doing the drills with the vac suit that I gave you?
Several times, yes, we had to perform. When we went out into the desert, we did a couple of those drills, yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting somewhat competent at it. Not quite there yet, but somewhat.
Well, as my old teacher used to say, sucking at something is the first step to being sorta good at something.
Wise man, your teacher.
Yeah. Terrible temper. Worse, couldn't hold his drink.
You find one particular talk that, in its abstract, seems to suggest some sort of uninspired yet genius talk regarding the collectivist theory of Space Marines and how they best can work together to common ends. It's a common theme in various military circles, but there seems to be this unique, this very subtle and nuanced take that's actually kind of interesting. They're going over very known facts, but they're finding a new take on that seems to draw new ideas somehow.
Well, Calvier, as a somewhat of a psychologist and a biologist himself, would also really like to enjoy how crayon eaters function, so he would like to go to this lecture.
They're space crayons. It's different.
You
Space
had
crayon
net
eaters.
collectivism.
Now, give me some of that. Let me soak in all that knowledge.
Is Neok going along with this, or is he? Are they heading off to some other task or
I
pursuit?
mean, you had me at collectivism.
We can both go. Is there an entry fee to this?
No, it seems to be sponsored by the Darrian planetary leader
Oh, lovely.
Good.
for the betterment and education of all Sophonts.
Fair enough. A leader who isn't afraid of unions. That's good.
When the two of you go, you do notice that there is like the actual the lecture hall that the two of you get to go into, and there's a bunch of people here, various flavors of humanity, some Aslan lion people who are here, a couple of Vargir dog people here. Miak, you're the only hiver here because you're a long way from home. Not many hivers go out this far. But no one, they just readjust some of the seating so you have a spot you can kind of hunker down and be comfortable in. So you're not having to force yourself into this weird human seat that's incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah, just a large dog bed would help.
Yeah. Some Vargir sees that, it's like, I want one of those. You can sit in a chair. Yeah, I know, but I want one of those.
Well, you're welcome to share if you want. Us hivers are very cuddly. If you look past the fleshy bits.
The
I'm
Vargir
not sure
licks
they can.
the Vargir licks his chops and goes, "Yeah, sure."
Oh, I made a friend.
His nickname for you is Emergency Ration. Then again, that's Vargir's nickname for anyone who isn't Vargir, so.
I'll nickname him. Let's see here. Portable heat source.
That he is. The Vargir are quite warm. But you see on the screen that there is the lecturer up front, and then you see that there's little cameras, you would presume, that are floating up in the air, which you both, since you're both somewhat experienced with higher tech, you recognize that those are various projectors that are broadcasting to probably the planet and to various cities and that are streaming this from afar. It just so happens the lecturer came in and they're just lecturing here at the high port for reasons. But yeah, they seem to be expounding on the idea of a less hierarchical methodology of running a Space Marine Corps and more a collectivist imagining of it, which is very weird to the Darrian and the Imperials and the Sorties who are here. But the Vargir and Aslan have a bit more understanding of it. Aslan a little more, only because they run into Vargir. Vargir kind of have that sort of idea. But for Neok, you recognize it as a hiver methodology. That's kind of how your Marines work in a way. It's not perfect because you have non-hivers. People who are part of the Federation but aren't a hiver themselves. So there's a weird mix. And they seem to be trying to adapt that method into something that humanity in general can use, while still somehow maintaining the structure of a Marine Corps, which is... It almost sounds like it works, but it's very... odd. It's a very odd talk.
I'm guessing.
There are a few flaws. And people ask questions, like, how the hell does that work? What is this goose shit? So on.
I'll make sure to ask a few very hard questions. As a hiver, I would like to see how you would confront this problem. How would you distribute the crayons in a your average armchair revolutionary talking to another one with just slightly different views. It's very fun.
Give me 3 dice. No, 2. It's in your wheelhouse. I'll say 2 dice intelligence.
Two dice intelligence, you say?
Yeah.
I have a 6 intelligence.
Yep. You're able to make some rather astute points. Like, you're not an expert in this particular field. You're not a marine, but you know enough about collectivism and collectivist thought and how that can be translated. And the lecturer just during question time is like, "Hey, yeah, what about this? Yeah, that is a good idea." And then it kind of stirs up a bit of an open forum discussion on how to improve on the idea, because it definitely is. After talking about it during question period, it is definitely an idea in progress, but the idea that it's even this close to being implementable is actually kind of surprising. But like, they're very close because the biggest problem is that they don't have the hivers have like pheromones and various signals and cues that you don't have to say a lot to get things across to each other quickly, even if there's one or two aliens.
And we have been doing this for several thousand years.
Yeah.
This is a new idea to these people.
So they have like various color coding and symbols that they'd wear on their outfits to kind of highlight those things, and some things that are like removable, that sort of thing. But somehow it turns out to be an okay talk, and you have a nice full discussion. A couple people chat with the two of you. It's like, hey, because they know the two of you because of the Traveler Free News for one. Especially since Neok kind of brought attention to your seating area by poising into it. Some people are, most people are very friendly, really.
That's good.
And I'd like to cross-reference this with my notes from when I was, still in my teaching days. Marines, or at least Imperial Marines, they have a tendency to stray more towards, their own thinking. They're more individualist than collectivist. Could this be applicable in my field of science?
You could, in theory, structure an expeditionary team this way. You'd need people to be rather open-minded to new structures, because scholar expeditionary teams in the Imperium are very hierarchical because it's a very society-based. Because Hiver is a curiosity-based society, not social strata concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a kind of, you kind of have to shift your thinking. You have to translate one modem of social structure of thought into one that humanity can parse. But you could, in theory, do it. A lot less guns and a lot less crayons.
The Vellani Marines are too proud for something like this. Pride runs in them,
Tradition is a big thing for Vellani.
Exactly.
They've had emperors for what? Almost 3 millennia?
While us
More than that?
scientists and people like ourselves, they are more inclined to think outside the box. However, traditional professions like soldiers, not so much, I think. Curious. Something to think about, for sure.
Now, as the two of you are able to leave the lecture hall, and some people do want to chat with you a bit more. A couple people kind of walk along with you and chat with you a bit more. You could have your talks. Like, it's getting late in the night by the time you get through all this, because it was a whole thing. Would you have rooms now? Would you have rooms at the TES hotel, or would you have accommodations somewhere else on the station or down on the planet?
I'm a fellow, so, recently got my fellowship, so I'll use that. I'll milk that as much as I can.
Yep.
And I don't think there might be Union folks on the station.
Oh, there would be, sure.
But I'm not sure that I would like to impose on them. I might be with the TAS.
It's a good chunk of your traveling party has travelers in them. There's some accommodation for, like, hey, you have like multiple lifetime members plus a fellow. It's not hard to get an extra bed You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll
Fair.
bunk him up somewhere, like get him a doggy bed.
Just a heated slab will work. It's fine.
God, starfish.
And as the two of you with your friends come in, you are greeted by some... Oh, wait, no, they wouldn't be putting up these people. My bad. They would not have normal security out on the floor. They'd have their suited security. A couple of TES folk in the TES black blazer with the golden sun with hands come up to you, and you can see that they do have under their blazer. You can see there's like a armored mesh underneath, and in the tuck of their blazer, you can see that there's a spot for what's likely some sort of energy pistol.
Hello, you look dangerous. What can we do for you?
Greetings. We have an issue that we need to alert you to. If you would come with us, it's somewhat of a sensitive matter for you and your companions.
Well, what could possibly go wrong? Lead the way.
Did the bear show off his things? I hear that's frowned upon in Sophon societies.
Nothing in that regard, no.
Good thing. I wish to be there when he does that. It's very funny.
And they kind of gesture for you to follow them.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah, of
The
course.
rest of the party just kind of goes, oh, okay, well, this looks important. They give you some contact numbers on their tablets and stuff, and they wish you well, because it seems like you're in the middle of something.
Yeah.
And eventually, you find yourself in the company of your fellow travelers.
In prison?
No, you seem to be led into a... It looks like the lounge out front, but a lot more... it's more of a staff lounge than it is. Still comfortable and nice colors and, drink machine and a food dispensary, but it's more for, like, the staff, less the open floor. It's more utilitarian than luxurious. And you see there are a couple of uniformed, like, full armored security people who are kind of watching the room. And they see the door open, and the blazer people just kind of wave a hand like, no, it's us. And like, oh, okay. And they continue looking around and talking into their headpieces.
Oh dear. What have we done?
Some of the security people get one of them gets a chair for Calvier, and another one kind of pulls out a nice plush cushion for Neok to sit on.
Much obliged.
What seems to be the problem?
Well, our companion, Kirti, has been found in his room quite thoroughly decapitated.
Oh. Oh dear. And
His
the cause of
traveling
death?
companions, decapitation,
Oh.
I believe. His companions, we're being held for questioning while the investigation continues. We're also waiting to hear about the item we put in the TAS vaults. Sir Calcian here has requested that it be physically checked, just in case somebody has lifted it.
Oh, and a description of Sir Calcian for Neok. This is Neok's first time encountering
that's right.
on camera, at least.
Sir Calcian is a Soleimani, so he appears human. He's about 5'11" and has short black hair. He is also wearing a sash that indicates that he is a Darrian knight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I'll hand a card to Calvir and say, you don't have to, if you would like to, let our retainer handle this interaction with the TAS, I would advise that. As a shareholder, you're now represented by SYG.
Actually,
Okay.
Neok is. Oh, right. You're talking to Calvir. My fault.
Yeah, Calvir.
Fair enough, I suppose. I'll be sure to redirect him to our lawyers then.
And Neok, it might be time to discuss terms of employment so that our law firm would also cover you.
That all sounds great for New York as well, but shall we wait until we're not surrounded by security?
I didn't know how fast Neok would like to pursue employment or reject employment. That's up to him.
Sir Calcian, one of the security guards walks up.
Yes.
We have a report from the computer and from the inspector that got down into the secure room. The package is still present. They have come into physical contact and have inspected the seals. They have not been breached.
Very good.
Well, that's potentially good news.
Oh, and Mr. Tarbin, we are still waiting on DNA readback from the hospital on surface regarding your requests. We'll try to forward that to you as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Do any of you have any knowledge as to the whereabouts of Iblifatil? We've been struggling to find where he is.
Not that we know of.
No, Sir Calcian and I were abroad in the High Port on various business of our own. We have not seen Iblifatil since we landed.
Professor Trusani, Representative Neok, have you seen your the Iblifatil?
Couldn't help you, I'm afraid. Been to too many lectures this week to remember.
Yeah, they weren't at the last lecture.
They can look mildly concerned and just nod. Very well. We'll bring more news once he taps the side of his head, once I'm told. He steps back so he's not like looming over your conversation, because security is more watching the room and anyone coming and going who shouldn't be, rather than trying to. They're trying not to listen in on your conversation as best they can, but the room isn't that big. Eventually, the two people in blazers kind of nod at the heavier security, and they nod back, and the people in blazers go off somewhere else through the door.
So Neok's gonna turn down the volume on the speaker, the translator, in order to not be as loud as they usually are. Regarding employment, I became a traveler to get out of working. I have had a long and lustrous career, as you can see. Shows off gold watch worn around the headstock as some sort of necklace. But
That's. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
one should always be wary of benefits. there are certain benefits to being employed.
Yeah, I had thought that you might be interested in employment if you were compensated, say, not only as a legal specialist, an IT specialist, a vac suit specialist, an astrogator, and a gravitics and biology specialist. But principally, those are great skills, but they're not the skills that led me to think that you would be right to be hired for LTG. Is it LTG? I'm just still trying to learn the company's name. LAT. What I think makes you a great candidate for LAT is I need an executive officer to represent the interests of the crew to the shareholders. And I think you have such experience.
That sounds like a position I could be able to fill. Let's discuss rate at a different time. But for now, in order to expedite the process, I accept.
Do I have like a pad that I can do some somewhat official sign up on so that now Enoch will be officially covered by our law firm?
You could do that, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll write something up on a pad and let you sign it and let you know that you're now covered by SYG Imperial.
Oh, I'm gonna look through the entirety of this thing and add and subtract and add and subtract. Just in silence, wearing reading glasses or the equivalent. Yes.
Give me 3 dice intelligence plus your advocate as you look over the document and examine it. And you will get a bonus of +3. It's good flux because the law firm's trying to make it clear, understandable.
Did you say 3 dice?
You roll 3 dice, yes. You have +3 to your target number of intelligence plus advocate.
So I have a target number of 7.
Oh, it was almost an extraordinary success. It seems that this company is formed in the traveler popular style of a shareholdership contract. It's very common among travelers who have large ships and they're trying to form their shares. So rather than having a captain, the traditional captain, first officer, second officer, third officer, there's shareholders and then there's people who run the ship who get various shares and various legal protections because they work for the ship, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I had imagined that, like, there's Calcian, Tarbin, and Calvier, the shareholders, who have also hired Calcian, the captain, Tarbin, the engineer, and Calvier, the researcher. Right. We have, like, separate...
Yeah, shareholder crew. Because some people, if it was, like, owned by a megacorp, that'd be... Like, if it was a TAS-owned ship, the owners would be somewhere in the core worlds, and then people would be employed to run the ship. Whereas you're the shareholders who own the ship and run it.
Yes, this looks amenable. Here it is, signed and notaried. Essentially notaried, at least. Yes.
Mr. Tarbin, I have an update on the DNA request.
Excellent. What have you learned?
We've been informed that there is... He looks at his pad. A preponderance of evidence that the person in question is who we believe it is. That said, that does leave us with some level of reasonable doubt that that is who we think it is. We're still waiting. We're going into a deeper dive into the quantum signatures and theta bands to ensure that there wasn't some sort of advanced cloning involved, or it's just a misreading of his biology. But we are familiar with Villani biology, so
That's
shrugs.
disappointing.
would you like him with this in mind? Would you like to list him as a missing person? You were traveling with him.
I think we would like to list him as a deceased person, right?
Well, just on the minuscule off chance, let's list him as missing first, and then once the reports confirm, then we can change the status if necessary.
We've also had an opportunity to check the security feeds. We saw that no one in this group was in that room or entered the room. And given the injuries suffered, none of your weapons would line up with anything that would result in the way the body was formed. So at this time, the TAS is confident that there should be no legal entanglements aimed at the four of you upon this person's death. So we will, well, they're kidnapping possibly, so it's missing for now until we confirm. So we're going to tell the Spaceport Authority what we know so far, and also confer with the Darrian authorities in case the assailants, or if this person is just missing on the planet somewhere. Although we're not entirely sure how. Either we have a dead person who has weird biology, or we have a missing person who, as far as we know, hasn't left the station.
Well, thank you for your prompt response to my request for assistance and for the quick work.
We prefer to look after our own rather than let spaceport authorities poke around. We understand that travelers prefer expediency when it comes to these things rather than the slow gears of various bureaucracies.
So we're free to be about our business then.
If you feel in any further danger, we can advance your security rating in your rooms, but otherwise, you can go out to the lounge at your leisure.
What would be entailed in the advancement of the room's security?
Well, we would need to walk through the room with you with some of our security to make sure nothing's been changed, and then tell you where all the new security features are. But we can just leave it at standard if you feel you're not in increased peril. Part of the reason we pulled you in here was because, well, I'll be frank with you at this point, either you were the assailants or you were the target of an attack. So better to have you somewhere we knew you weren't going to be attacked and get evidence to advise you on your legal rights before Starport got involved.
Well, I personally am for upping our security, and I kind of look to Calvir and Calson and Neok. What about you?
Wouldn't hurt having an extra guard stand at the door, but I fail to see the point, honestly. If someone wanted us dead or kidnapped, we'd already be done. Or at least I would. This elephant killer can't protect me, and I can't wear it outside of the spaceport.
Remind me again, the people who are who would be required to retrieve the case are me, Tarbin, and the dead guy.
Yeah,
The missing person, yeah.
Okay.
Professor, I would just remind you that my personal number one suspect for this is your old acquaintance who we met on Spoom. So beyond current affairs, well, he might well take the opportunity of settling a couple of grudges with you.
You make a fair point.
Lao
Hi.
Lal, I think? Or Lao Lar?
Something along those lines. His name escapes me. Insignificant little speck, anyway. In any case, yes, fine. I consent to having an additional guard or two in front of my door when I sleep. As for moving about the spaceport, I think I shall be fine with you around.
As a member of Darrian nobility, is there like some component of the law enforcement system or military system that I can reach out to for temporary protection and escort?
Give me education, 2 dice, advocate, or world knowledge, if you have any, for your Darrian world that we were on. I don't know how long you've been there, because you've been a noble for a term, so you would have world knowledge for where you were posted. Though I know your education's not great.
Yeah.
But it's 2 because it's like, this is something you would have been told when you were being ennobled.
Nope, that's a failure.
You're not sure. You're sure there's something to that regard, but it doesn't. The name of the exact protocol escapes you.
Then I will pull up the TAS's recommended mercenary companies stationed on Darrian.
It would seem. Actually, let's see. Let's check my charts. They give you a list of a variety of mercenary companies, but they seem to be ill-suited for personal escort. They're more for expeditionary guard or facility guard. So they're not really bodyguard. They can do bodyguard services. They're just not very good at it. The TS lets you know that. It's like they are mercenary companies. You could hire them for it, but that isn't their bread. This isn't their specialty.
Alright, then it looks like the TAS is our only option.
So yeah, I'll have them beef up security in my room at least, and take the new tour.
Yeah, same.
Yep. They'll be one of the blazered officers who will go around and they'll show like, here's where you turn on the turret system. Here's where you turn off the psi shield systems. This is the panic button. No, not the regular panic button. This is the hidden one. A lot of that's turned down so you don't accidentally bump in. You don't bump into a lamp and hit a panic button that's hidden in there.
Right.
For normal stays, but when they know one of their members is at a heightened risk, especially at a high profile place like this, they're like, okay, now we're gonna let you know where all the switches are. They can post a physical.
Shields, huh?
They can post a physical guard outside the door if you want, but they have automated systems that can do that. But if you feel more comfortable with a flesh and blood sofa standing there, they can do that. They just usually don't do that because sometimes people feel it's a little too militant. But hey, if you feel better, it's your room.
Nope, I'm good with these updated measures.
Yeah, eventually the 4 of you are, after a short bit of escort about your rooms or not, you're able to meet up again in the lounge or in one of your rooms, your call.
Yeah, I think the lounge will be fine.
Yep. And somewhere during all this, Charbon wants to look for the arrivals and departures and see if there's been any public arrival of the 21st Ushguri in the system, or elements thereof, or Lalar, or any very recent arrivals of Install Arms ships. I mean, it's a huge port, so I'm sure there are, but I'm basically trying to suss out if I can find any potential sources of, or theoretical hunters.
Give me 3 dice intelligence. Computer, Stewart, or Streetwise.
Streetwise is definitely the highest of that, so we'll do that. 3 dice. I'm looking for 13 on 3.
You scan through. You do see there is some in Stellarm's chartered ships, but they are moving gear, not people. They're not moving personnel. They're moving like guns and armor to sell here. Or they're moving stuff that people sold in Stellarms and they're going to move it off somewhere else.
Okay.
And there is a branch office of Stellarms, a couple. There's the Highport branch office, and there's a couple in the Arcologies on the surface for like various continents. But
Okay.
no new influx of that particular mercenary band or any of its members. At least on the public rolls, but a place like this, especially in a world that isn't Imperial controlled, and this isn't a company world, this is a
Right.
government controlled world, it's like, no, the noble of this world will want to know if you're coming or not, and you announce yourself when you come, unless you have government contract otherwise. Like, you'd need
Okay.
noble's protection to erase that from the record, because the Starport Authority wants to be here. They don't want to get yelled at by the nobles.
Now, the flip side of him being missing is we probably won't be able to retrieve the artifact until we can have him declared dead. I will ask the TAS security how long they think it will be before that is fully confirmed or not.
They were simply told quite a long time. They don't know for sure. It depends on who. They've sent it off to be examined. They have to send like a physical sample to someone on the surface, and it's gonna have to be moved around. So for now, they would say don't hold your breath on it because they don't know for sure how long it's gonna be. Until they'll know how fast it's gonna be tomorrow. Is the soonest they'll probably get an update, but they won't hear anything today about how fast or slow it'll be going.
Yeah, I'll ask them to provide an update as soon as they know as far as the timeline we might be looking at.
Yep, they'll forward it to your tablet when they, unless you want it in person. Like if you want it more secure, they can do it that way. But they can just shoot it to your tablet wherever you are.
Let's have somebody drop by and tell me.
Yep, they can do that. And I'll note that when you're in the lounge, there's a lot more of the Blazered security around now. It is, and a couple of the uniform security about. The average traveler wouldn't know anything's weird, but you four can tell that they've upped security in general across the entire facility.
Right. As you should, I mean. Someone's just been murdered.
Murdered or kidnapped, it's bad either way. It's like, someone came into our building and took someone. That's not okay.
Is there a detailed like brochure or something that touts the features of the secure vault?
There would be, yeah. You'd be able to pull that up quite easily.
Can I use that and do some research on the web, looking up, right, if it mentions we have this level of A5 guaranteed security or whatever, or it's behind a, I don't know, Darrian gold star safe or whatever. Can I correlate all that information and find what I think would be a reasonable way to break in? Like, if not obviously it is not reasonable to do it, but if you had to do it, what are the ways that would be likely?
3 dice intelligence plus
Streetwise, I think, right?
Streetwise is a good one, yeah. I was gonna list off a bunch. I'm like, wait, you have Streetwise.
Yeah, that's a success.
So there's the first layer of defense is the automated camera system. So you need someone who has programmer computers to mess with that. Then you need someone with engineering skill to start open or some sort of breaking doors to go through the service tube, the same one the inspector went through. And you would need someone to crack climb into the area where the case is, because if you make the AI blind, you can't move. Well, I guess in theory you could move the box to where you are, because normally it's in like in the actual containment area. It'd be in like this sort of long tube like that, and then if you wanted, say, this thing here, and you're here at top, then normally there's an automated system that would bring it closer to the inspector so they can look at it or move it upstairs manually. But if the easiest way to shut that off is to just shut off the whole system, at which point you have to crawl your way along to get there. Or if you have absolute control of the system, which that's very difficult because you're talking a sapient AI, it's easier to blind them than it is to actually control them. If you got control, you can move it however you wanted. Or if the sapient AI was in on it. Actually, that'd be the easiest way if you could get the AI in on it. But the slightly harder way is blind it, get in there, get to the case, and then you need a lockpicker to crack the case open. Because you then put it in a secure container, and there are like special bags that you can get that you can put stuff in that blinkers it to sensors specifically for smuggling. You definitely want to have a ship fueled up, ready to go the minute you grabbed it, because the minute you have you would have a place this advanced. Best case, you have an hour to do it. The minute you shut off the AI, you have an hour. If you can't do everything you need and get that thing in the ship and flying within an hour, you're dead. Because either TES will get you, or Starport Security will get you, or there'll be ships waiting for you the minute you try to leave. So you have to be out the door and flying inside of an hour. Maybe if you want to be extra safe, you'd want to have everything done in a half hour, just to be absolutely sure you weren't going to get nailed. The minute you cross the 30-minute mark, you're kind of hoping Flux is on your side. But there's a way to do it. It's just very different. On the difficulty scale for any of this, just to give you, because your character gets an idea of it, it would go from staggering, formidable, difficult. So basically 5 dice. You'd be going from, and you'd have to do it fast. So like 6 dice, 5 dice, 4 dice on tasks. Because it would get easier the closer you got to the object. Because it's that first layer that's the hardest to break through, and then it gets easier as you get closer to what you're after.
Knowing how important exfil is to all this, then I'll spend time looking around areas in the starport where I think, like, if I was going to pull this off, this is where the ship would have to be. Obviously, it can't be at the farthest docking ring. Right. It needs to be somewhat close. But it's not going to be like where the cruise liners or the warships are docked, right? So
the best one, I'm not going to be here because you already basically made the roll on how the heist would be best done. You think docking bay R2 would do it. That's the closest one that isn't so close to the TES office that it's weird, because those ones are reserved for the TES ships. Like, you usually get to be right next door to the thing. So in the red zone, docking bay 2 would be a nice spot to be. That's that nice middle ground, close enough but not too close, but not so far away that it's useless to you.
Then I'll spend time to go see if anyone is actually there, or what it looks like around that area. Just investigate.
So Langoff's heading off to investigate. Calvier, Neok, and Tarvin up to?
Tarvin will go with Calcian on the theory that probably wandering off by ourselves is not the best idea in the world.
That sounds like a reasonable idea, so Calvier is gonna also accompany you on your journey.
So, Doc, if the biometric scan we took was done by putting our hands on a scanner, so how difficult would it be, assuming that you have the biological DNA material from someone's body or say head, how difficult would it be to do something that would fool that kind of biometric scanner?
Well, GM, any inkling?
Intelligence, 3 dice, plus your biology.
Would this is hard kick in because I only have 2 in biology?
Yep.
So 3 dice. Still get it, yeah.
Wait, didn't I say 3 the first time?
Did you? No, you said 2, I think, no? Roll another d6 in
Yeah.
case you did. Fine.
Still got it.
Yeah, still got it.
There's ways to do it, yeah. You would have to. The problem, your biggest problem, the readers use your hand because that's how he signed it the first time. So getting the head, you could clone his hand and then breathe artificial life into it, as it were, and then use it as a biometric lockpick, if you will.
All I'm going to say is, Mr. Arctos, it's possible. Don't ask how.
Well, but I mean, I'm not quite going all that far. I was thinking more along the lines of some sort of glove with genetic material or whatever on the palm side that could be used.
Calvary, you know that you would need the actual full hand because it goes throughout the entire thing. There's ways to do it cybernetically, but the tech level of this place, it would see through that. You would need like a flesh and blood hand, and even then you'd still be trying to pick the lock. It isn't a proper key. You'd be fiddling with it to fool the computer into thinking it's that guy's real hand.
Yes, I'll need more, I'm afraid.
And the head was the only part of the body that was missing, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
A skilled person could maybe do it, but it's a gamble, especially on a high-tech world like this one.
So if they didn't take the hand, but they did take the head, why would you need to take a head? Why would you want to take a head if your end goal was to get something locked up in the TAS vault that was under a biometric?
Maybe there's some sort of sick collector, we don't know.
Quick clarification: as Neok following along with the to the docks?
Neok is contemplating whether to go get a drink and socialize rather than be plotting and be complicit in getting apprehended later. He will probably go get a drink, see if he gets attacked by anyone who would like to get the thing anyways. So no.
Hey man, part of the ship, part of the crew.
Yeah, I mean, I can be your lawman on station in case you don't want to wait for your actual lawyers to get here. So
And to what type of bar is Neok heading to? Are you just hanging about in the TS lounge? Or are you going to like one of the spacer bars here at the high port, or one of the much more
spacer bars are very fun.
And spacer bar, sorry, I meant to say spacer bar at high port or low port?
Low port, that's where fun people are.
Yes, you're going to be taking a space elevator down. Oh, actually, no, it's not. Oh, no. No, they would have a space elevator from the high port to the low port because they're that advanced and it's a Class A. So, yeah, you basically ride a space elevator down to the low port. And we'll get to that in a moment. Trusani, Arctos, and Langoff arrive at docking port R2.
Can I look up what ships are docked here?
At present, there is no ship docked here in this docking area.
You're sure we're in the right place?
And
Can we check arrival and departures for maybe the past 48 hours for this dock?
yeah, I was gonna say. I thought you already had that information, so I was gonna ask if we could compare.
Yeah, because I was looking stuff up earlier.
This dock hasn't been used for the last few hours for that 48-hour period. Which I will highlight is unusual. Busy place like this, ports usually fill up. At some point, even for local flights. And
Is it
local
possible
travelers.
to see all the ships that are to look up ships that have come into system and requested like permission to enter the system and dock, but are still getting here, right? Because of the 100D limit, they have to come out pretty far.
That would be in the purview of the Spaceport Authority and the Darrian Confed Airspace Authorities. So it wouldn't be something that's public knowledge. They wouldn't list that. They list like whether someone's in a dock or not, or if they have been, for the purposes of trading. But they wouldn't update. They wouldn't publicly list their the movements of ships in the area. But they would have it. Someone would have it, just for records, if nothing else, and strategy.
So, is there a way to see if somebody has rented/reserved this dock for a period of time?
You find when you check in the computer that this dock is in fact reserved for you're on day 3 of 7 of the reservation period.
Does it say who reserved it?
It is company 646 or 646 Co.
Does it sound familiar? Have we heard of this one before, or?
I am curious though. Is there a meaning behind 646 company? Why do they call themselves Company 646?
Are you using an intuition?
Sure, I'll roll curiosity.
Sure.
5. I got it.
That is, it does have significance to various cultures across humanity and beyond, in various Sophant culture groups, large and small. But in the more closer context of what you're dealing with, especially given what your corporation was process, that is a number company. So sometimes if you want a company to exist for a short period of time, you don't bother naming it anything. You just give it a registry number, something short, and usually the practice in Imperial or Darrian corporate short-term corporation system is to use 3 numbers plus a letter, and then eventually when the company dies or you don't need it anymore, you fold it up and pay the appropriate fees, or you use it as a holding number. Yeah.
So it's a temporary shell company. Okay. Well, this sounds like a job for an advocate. I'll use my communicator to call up Neok.
Neok, you see yourself plummeting along with a bunch of other people in a rather comfortable space elevator where you're getting to see you basically flying down through the clouds and approaching the low port at incredible speed. But it's actually quite comfortable. It's not. It's so some people are kind of freaked out a little bit because, oh god, they're going really fast, and most people aren't used to space elevators. You've been in a space elevator before. I mean, when you were much younger and many, many years ago back home, but you've been in one before. And then your tablet jingles at you.
Yellow. That is a little bit of vernacular I've picked up. How can I help you?
This is Tarbin.
Hello, Tarbin.
I want you to, if you can, please look into the 646 company. We believe it's a shell company that's been set up for a purpose. See if you can find out who set it up, and see if you can't trace it back to somebody named. I don't know if this might be a shell company at the end of a string of shell companies or what, but see if you can figure out who actually is behind this company.
Roger Dodger. That's another piece of vernacular I picked up.
Well done indeed. I'll sign out.
I'll get right to it. Turning my gaze from wow, the view, and those people are scared, to well, let's do some work for once. Let's earn the paycheck.
Wait, they've been paying you? No,
Well, they will now. Sign a contract.
I mean, he's already earned over
Well, we
1,000
signed a
credits,
contract on the understanding we would discuss payment details later.
I discussed it for you.
Speaking of, you owe me, I believe, 2 payments of your social standing times 100 for your lifestyle.
All right.
And
Social 9.
so 900 times 2, 1800.
Well, that's nothing.
Give me intelligence 3 dice plus advocate. Because the dice is higher than your skill, this is hard, so it is not 3 dice but 4 dice.
Give me one moment. I'm filling things in.
Sure. Or you could roll insight, I suppose.
I could, but I might have to save that for when talking to people.
And actually, is this one of your pursuits? Oh, we haven't. We really need to hammer down your life pursuits. I'll talk about that later.
Yeah. What was the role that you wanted me to do?
Intelligence advocate. You're rolling 4 dice.
All right. That is much more.
You try to look it up, but it is a very complex weave of contracts and diversions that you could eventually figure this out, but it's going to take you weeks to sort through this mess.
I'll dial back to Tarbin.
Tarbin here.
This is a ball of yarn that I will not be able to figure out for many weeks. I suggest that you find an alternate means to find the significance of the company.
All right. Well, thanks for trying.
No problem.
So, in that case, Tarbin will. I'll reach out through our law firm, because we're paying them on the retainers to do anything to serve the company, revolving around the company, and have them look into figuring out if they can. Discover.
What was your target number, Neok?
7, I think.
Oh, yeah. I gave positive flux to what he had. But
It would be 8. Never mind. 8.
8, 1, 2, 3. Not enough. No. The firm says they can get on the case. It will take them a few days to work it out, though.
Any way we can expedite that?
If you can get a sign off from whoever's in the company, but that's kind of part of the problem. They do have a number for a agent they can speak with. If you can convince them to help expedite it, great. But right now, all they're doing is doing information requests,
Right.
and that they're trying to get information without tipping their hand why they're digging at it, because you didn't tell them why, and they figure you don't want them to.
Okay.
But it's like, if you can get them to just say, hey, this is the guy to talk to, great. Then that speed, or at least to the chief advocate for the company, then they can go, okay, that's who we need to talk to. That person's willing to cooperate with us. We can get the information a lot faster. But it's a matter of figuring out, looking through the publicly available data to figure out who the named person is. That isn't just
Right.
a functionary, a low-level functionary.
Okay.
I was gonna say that once Neok gets down there, he's gonna take another crack at it, but this time with the insight.
Wow.
If that's all right.
You can roll insight.
Yeah, just for shits and giggles. Because there seems to have been a wrong turn there. Is it still 4?
No, in this case, it's 2 dice. You just try not to roll double 6s. Because you have 12 right now, so.
A 9.
As you get down to the surface, the elevator comes down and you find yourself in this massive, many-fold spires. Some of the buildings in the distance decorated with trees and holographic imagery. But somehow it's, despite how urban packed the Star Town is, it is, there's still great sightlines of the various, the countryside around. Specifically the mountains to the south, the ocean to the north, and the plains off to the east and west. And you're sitting there, you're starting to get out of the elevator with everyone else, and there's polite people, people who didn't get the tablet, they get one again here. Some people get maps put up on their tablets as they walk off. Some people walk off the elevator with comfort of, like, you know, they're from here, they're Darrian, so they know how to just come. To them, it's just another day. Some people are boarding. And it just kind of dawns on you. There's one name you remember hearing about. Something to do with... Oh, what was that person's name? Then you see someone, one of the Darrian, and then the face just pops into your head. And then the name just very quickly follows after. Of a... La Ledren, a Darrian functionary who deals in numbered companies. You remember reading an article about labor rights on a lark, and then that name came up as someone who sometimes is involved with various number companies in the Darrian Confederacy. You don't know for sure if that's... You didn't see the name in the ball of yarn, but it occurs to you, if any... The most likely person to be touched with something, if they're trying to do a weird shell game, and it's complicated, especially this complicated, this is the name. This is the person who would be... If they weren't part of it, they'd know who was.
Alright. Dialing back. Once more.
Carbon.
Tarvin, this is Enoch. No, Neok. I might have found something.
Really?
La Ledren.
Who's that?
Someone who deals in shell companies, especially number companies. You have the name. Look it up. I'm gonna see if I can get an audience.
All right, sounds good.
Yes. Alright. Neok out. So I'm gonna jump in a cab and ask for directions to the office where I might talk to that one.
The cabbie kind of looks puzzled at you and says, they say something to Zoldal at first, and then they look behind them because they heard the thing open and then close, and they didn't look back to see who came in. And they start saying something in the Darrian language, and then they look behind them, oops, and then they say something in Anglic, and then say, sorry, who was that again? You're looking for...
The office of La Ledren.
1 second. They turn around, they tap something into their computer, and then they put a little eyepiece over one of their eyes and stare off for a second. They're not here in the Star Town. They're in the city to the north. About other side of the world. You'll need something a bit more with a bit more range than me to get there. I could drive you to one of the aeroports though, or gravports. You would say. He wouldn't say aeroports; they're too advanced for that. Airplanes. What are those?
Gravport it is then.
Eventually, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna tip handsomely.
Be sure and keep your receipts.
Oh, I know how this works. I log everyone.
And given your social standing, this is well within your lifestyle to move around in a grav lift. That's not something beyond you. You've been in a few of these in your career before you became a traveler. Eventually, you get brought up to the top of one of the buildings where there's a large, think like a helicopter pad, but many more pads around. And they kind of the grav lift kind of pulls up in the parking area, and then they send something to your tablet and it gives directions as to who you need to speak to at the gravport for long distance travel. And I thank you kindly for the tip. We're very glad to get it.
You're very welcome. Thank you. I'm gonna talk to whoever deals with people going this way.
Hello.
Hello.
You want to travel to a nearby city in a long-range grav vehicle?
Yes, I'm looking for the office of Laladren.
Oh, so you'll need transport from the grav port to somewhere else? We can book you a short-range grav, if you like, from the port. Much like the one you came in on, she clarifies.
That will be amenable. You are very good at your job. Thank you for being here.
Oh, not at all. That will be 2 She gives off a price, and it comes out to about costing about 100 credits out of pocket for you. It's a bit more than it costs a fair amount to get it all organized, but if you have 100 in pocket, you can cover the distance.
I mean, I currently have more money than I've had for like the last 30 years or so. So, yeah. Yeah, at any given time, I never had more money than this. But I also had more benefits then, and more rights.
Yeah.
So.
She takes your money kindly, and you are given your own private high-speed, long-distance grav vehicle that will fly you to the other side of the planet, to where the city is.
All right.
Meanwhile, we go back up to the station. You're at the port. You have the information from Neok at the moment, who's off to gain an audience, it seems.
So this is day 3 of a 7-day reservation. I mean, maybe this is the point where we hire a private security firm to kind of help us keep an eye on things and be ready to respond if we need them to.
It sounds doable. I've been dealing with blockheads my entire life. I think I can find a firm of blockheads that are willing to protect us if you're willing to entrust it to me.
What do you think, Calcian?
I didn't hear all that. You'd have to say that again.
I was just saying that, you know, it seems to me like now this is day 3 of a 7-day reservation of this docking port, that now might be the time to hire a private security company to help us keep an eye on the place and to act as a ready response force if something does go down that concerns us with this docking port.
So there are closer docking ports. They're just normally reserved for craft owned by the TES, right?
Yeah.
Do you have to travel through those to get to here?
Well, it's like, I think like an airport terminal. You'd be walking by their terminals. You would be having to travel through them in per se.
Okay, but you would have to pass by them. There's not a way to get to them indirectly.
You could, but you'd be going way out of your way to do it. You'd have to go you'd have to go the long way around or a very convoluted way, but the faster way is just to go right by them.
All right. I'll look up a bid. I guess I'll submit to some of the TAS approved mercenary companies that, right, I need like 30 well-trained soldiers, armed and equipped, to sit in a terminal for 5 days in case I need them to engage.
I don't know that we need soldiers so much as, like, you know, a private eye firm, a private security firm. You know, guys,
okay. I thought where this was going was like they're gonna try it, and when they do, we will overwhelm them.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, okay, so we want security guys, but like plainclothesmen, so, you know, to keep an eye on things and to be there should something go hinky with this. So it's not just us facing them, that, you know, if the bad guys do try something, then we've got an immediate force to call in, and with that, you know, we can immediately also call in TAS security, but we've got enough people on the ground to potentially hold our own until TS arrives. But I mean, that seems a little better than full rigged out soldiers just hanging around. We've got, you know, private security, you know, just guys in suits.
All right.
And whatnot.
People in blazers rather than full armor.
Right. People in blazers with shoulder holsters.
If they could discreetly get a few people here with like actual suits of armor, that would be nice. Because I would like, I don't want to firefight where, right, we're matching them equally.
You would know
Yeah, I
as travelers that anyone who's very heavy armor and loitering near a port would be approached by starport authorities, going, "Hey, what are you doing here? Move along. If you don't have any business here, move along."
But I think that cuts both ways, and what may be happening is the operative may already be on station, so this port may be used for pickup, so we might be stopping somebody from exfilling.
All right, what would it cost to hire such a company?
Pinkertons.
If they're the Pinkertons, I'm gonna not do that. In fact, let's hire some people and go take them out.
For
As
some
a
reason,
union
Neok
rep-
knows who these people are.
Yeah, as a union rep, I'd rather you didn't.
Gotta admit though, they're effective.
At union breaking.
They're the best thugs you can hire.
Just slightly after regular policemen.
That would be. Oh wait, I'm doing this. I know exactly what this should be. To make sure I'm not full of crap, though. Give me intelligence plus trader, 3 dice. You have +3 to the target number because the TAS has done some legwork for you. One of your die, you only roll 2 dice. I roll 1 uncertainty die. See if you're getting the best deal possible for what you're looking for.
Oh, it kind of doesn't matter. Whatever the roll is, the only way I can fail this is 666s.
Well, there you go. Wow. You don't need my uncertainty die to tell you.
even if you added the uncertainty die, it wouldn't come close.
So that would mean, I rolled that they are not terribly expensive here. I was gonna give you good flux anyway on that roll. Just rolled 0, so it's standard market price for what I'm thinking of. Which means I need this. There we go. For per person you want to hire, and you're just looking for are you looking for like a undercover type, like blazer and just someone subtle, or you're looking for someone armored who has to move around the port a bunch?
I mean, if it was possible, what I really want is the undercover people to actually be doing all of the legwork, all of the looking around, standing around, and then like I'm gonna try to negotiate with the TAS to buy out one of their closer terminals for a short period of time by waving a bunch of money around. I want to put everybody there, and then in the back of this port, like a squad of guys with good armor who are not supposed to step out of the room unless they're needed, right? They're not supposed to be walking around or seen. They're not supposed to be intimidating anybody. They're just there as a quick reaction. But if they're if any sort hint of armor foils the whole plan before it starts, I'm not going to risk that.
You could theoretically put armored people in a TAS port if you reserve the port, or one of them anyway. The thing is, you basically be paying high passage rate for each day to hold that port in place for them to hide, for the armored people to hide out in. If you just want people in blazers hanging out in the regular passage area or passageways, then that's different. You don't need to rent that because they can be blending in and moving around but be monitoring that particular port without drawing starport attention.
Could you give me an estimate on how many people and how much? And then I'll add on to that the premium.
So if you want someone qualified, it's 500. A team of qualified people, it's about 500. A team of competent people is
500 a what? 500 a person? 500 a day?
500 a day.
Okay.
And let me get.
So
500.
Sorry, I cut you in the middle of your list.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So 500 a day for qualified. 1,500 a day for competent. 2,000 a day for experienced. And 2,500 a day for their elite units. Their master units. And that is a team of 6 people who are adequately armored and equipped for the task at hand. If you want more than a standard squad of 6, then you would pay for you'd be paying for another group of people.
So the standard squad of 6 gets me the 6 dudes in reflect jackets and laser pistols who look normal to stand around.
Yeah, they probably won't be wearing reflex jackets. They'd be wearing it under something to burn, because they're trying not to draw attention to themselves. But they'd be wearing appropriate gear, and they'd have the training to not draw starport attention.
And if I wanted to sequester a squad of good fighters to actually if these people try to pull this heist off and they get this far, right? Mm-hmm. The kind of people who have all the tools to stop it. It's not going to be a serious contest.
It'd be double those prices because they have to pay for all the gear and special training. Plus,
but it's a separate squad, right? It's not the same people.
Yeah, no, they have their undercover people, their plainclothes people, and their battle dress people.
And that's another squad of 6.
Yep. And if you want to rent out that area for the armored people to be in, you're looking at currently, with discount, 13,000 a day for holding the port. Because
much cheaper than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a high passage ticket of 10,000 a person.
No, yeah, you're just paying for hey, no ships come and go from here, and you're not taking up the whole port. You just need an area for 6 guys to hang out in. It's okay, we can lock off one part of Traveler Port A, for example. It's yeah, we just no ships come and go there, and they're allowed to just be in there and hanging about.
Yeah, then if my math's not wrong, one squad. Oh, okay, hold on. Yeah, this should cost 82,000 credits. I'll pay that. It's inconsequential compared to what they could steal, and I fully expect them to steal. Right, if they came after to kill him, they want it back.
Right.
And it's small piece of mine, so as long as you think your number lines up with mine and that this would cost 82,000 and that would get me 6 plain clothes, 6 dudes in like serious kit, and a starport, one of the closest starport bays to the TS area for 4 days, because there's only 4 days of this op left. Right, the bay is no longer rented in 7 days. And I'm sure with us paying this much money, if we come in like 4 days and say we want to extend their contract, they'll probably be really happy as long as we've got the money.
As long as you have the money, yeah. Marker. For what level of group?
These are the best in both category.
So 500 a day. Oh wait, no.
No, 2,500 a day for the plainclothes and 5,000 a day for the super troopers.
Yep. Yeah, and you don't have to do any special rolls to convince them or anything, because you're vouched. 1, you're a knight. 2, you're so that helps you out. So your social standing would easily say, yeah, you're not going to welch on us. You're not trying to do anything weird. And the TAS is vouching for you as a lifetime member. So it's like there's 2 reasons for them to go, and you have the money up front, and you're paying them the rate. It's like, okay, sure.
All right, I'm gonna use the company card, which is empty. So I guess this is gonna charge to me, and then when we actually make money eventually, I'll get it back.
Actually, I'll put it like this. Put it on there. 4.
Then we should not be around here any longer. We should go look at other things or do other things.
Yep.
These people are going to hold this fort down, and we don't want to accidentally screw up what we've
Step
just
on
paid
someone's
for.
toes. Yeah, I am in
Yep.
agreement with this.
Where do the 3 of you go?
Perhaps these soldiers, when we came across them, the ones out in the desert,
Mm-hmm.
they're like a mercenary company, right?
Yep.
Okay, then I think the likelihood of them having like a master programmer with particular expertise in safe cracking is probably not the kind of people they hire. They'd probably hire someone.
Well,
for
rogue,
a
basically.
job.
A rogue programmer, really, rather than having
Yeah.
someone
Because
in the company
that's
at
like,
all times.
yeah, because that's a waste of their money to have that person around 99% of the time, right?
Yep.
So perhaps we
Especially for Instell Arms, because Instell Arms is very military. They're very overt military ops rather than covert ops.
So perhaps we go see if they hired someone. They're going to hire someone from here, or they tried to hire someone from here. Like go to the like a programmer themed bar or something.
You would need to give me intelligence 3 dice streetwise to find one that would be a sort of splicer bar that would have the kind of people you're looking for that isn't just computer enthusiasts.
Yeah, we just walk in like I'm looking to hire someone for this safe cracking job, and it's just like all a bunch of people sitting around solder boards or something, just like building toy robots as a hobby.
Sounds like a cool place.
Like,
Yeah, but not the kind of place you want to hire someone for a gig.
Oh.
It's just like
Oh.
people who like get off work and go build robots together, and you just walk in trying to hire them for like.
Want to be part of a heist? Dude, I'm just playing with old motherboards. What do you want?
Just want to play Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
I literally just want to build a small light rail. Is that too much to ask?
And that's a success. I mean, I take that back. There's definitely like an Ocean's 11 Ocean's 11 type scenario where you have to hire someone who knows a lot about like 1,000-year-old train sets for this one very specific gig.
That's next season.
That sort of place would not be in the high port. It'd be in the Star Town. Because high port has the most starport authority security. And you wouldn't want to be in the low port itself because that still has some starport authority. But you don't want to be too far away, especially if you're considering in Stellar Arms trying to hire them. The further away from the Star Town you are, the harder it is for you to get in-person meetings. So they'd be in the Star Town. The bar you're thinking would be in the Star Town somewhere. Unless you knew a particular rogue functionary who would be willing to connect the dots for you.
Do we know a particular functionary?
Yeah, Sir Langoff, but yeah, his rogue days are done. And that was back on Galentine.
Yeah, but I wasn't I'd ever did any criminal activity in Darrian space.
Yeah, exactly. Like any criminals you knew are back in the Sword Worlds. In theory, this person, this La Ladren, might be such a person. In theory. Otherwise, you'd have to go to the bar itself and ask around because you don't have it. You don't have a criminal contact here, per se.
I'm just gonna say, be the criminal you want to see in this world.
Maybe my first thought is maybe we go to the bar and we pretend to be in Stella Arms and see if anyone tries to or avoids making contact with us.
See, we've done it once. I don't know if we can get a second one, a second time off. You know.
You're wanting us to pretend to be in Stellar Arms and do what now?
We would try to make contact with this whoever they've hired, assuming they've hired someone. If they've hired no one, obviously we won't find anyone. But if they've hired someone, we're just trying to flush them out. Either in, they do make contact with us under some pretense that like we've got updated details on the job, or they try to get out of there real quick because they think their cover's been blown because these weird people are acting like in Stella Arms and trying to find them. So, I mean, the golden scenario would be we actually run into the dude they've hired. Like the middle path is we find they haven't hired anyone from Darrian, and even the worst path is the guy they find finds out that someone's looking into them, and maybe we flesh them out a little bit.
So you're looking for the guy then that takes down the security the security systems while somebody does the crawl to the vault.
Because it's the most important part of the operation. It also is not a skill that the people we think would want to steal the case have. They're going to have hired a subcontractor, either off-world or on-world. Just eliminating on-world as a possibility.
don't know.
Or we could even not take the approach of not trying to find them directly. We could go hire someone. Like, we could try to find someone who's got serious skill at this bar and ask him to hunt down a tech who would try to do this, right? Because if these people are all sellswords, they're probably not going to have any, like, in-group loyalty. They'll probably totally be willing to help us, like, hack this guy and track him.
Right. Yeah, I think maybe our best bet is to like hire a master hacker ourselves.
And like, we're trying to use him to find the other hacker, or we're trying to use him to, like, boost the security, or what are we doing with him? I would think we try to use him to hunt down the people who might be capable of this, or might be trying to do it.
I'm leaning more into boosting the security so that he counter hacks.
Oh. That's not gonna, GM, that's not gonna give us any trouble with the TAS, is it?
You'd have to convince TS to take the person on board. They have their own staff and their own sapient
Right.
AI.
I mean, I just don't know how much time we want to spend trying to, run down every possible lead. Because the guy we hire is a possibility. He could be doing the case, I mean, I would guess hiring somebody to track down the guy who may have been hired to break into the TAS would probably be the best way to go then. But I mean, I'd rather pay somebody to do it than having, well, here's the list of 6 names, and then we have to go and try and figure that out when we're not particularly, well built for that.
Why don't we go, right, and hire someone who's in that, like, basically a fixer, right? Someone who may not be a great programmer themselves, but they know pretty much everyone who is a great at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Get some basic information about them and pass that on to our security team to, like, alert us the second any of these people get close. Because I assume this person is not going to want to stay on Darrian. They're going to want to jump off with the crew stealing the stuff, right?
Well, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, because remember, our hacker guy, when we last hired one, he was able to do what he needed to do from quite a distance away because it was networked, and this place is networked to a fare thee well.
But
so I don't know that he's going to have to get close.
That's a good point. I assumed that because the vault is in orbit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the lag time for signals from the planet to orbit is the kind of thing that an AI could make quick work of a human on, right?
Yeah, but remember, there'll be a hard line because there's a space elevator.
Well, yeah, but you're still talking about, like, the delay it takes for the signal to get up to the spaceport. I may be wrong, because.
But even so, I mean, consider the size of the spaceport. I mean, he might be able to be in a hotel on the complete opposite side of the station, and how close is close? I mean,
yeah, but that's why I was just talking about setting up surveillance for him to get onto the station at all. Like, not necessarily going near the target area, just like if any of the programmers capable of pulling this off get on the station.
Assuming they don't live on the station.
If they are living on the station, though, they're going to walk around and be seen by a camera or something, right?
Yeah, but don't they walk around and get seen by a camera most of the time if they're living on the station? I mean, I don't know that's necessarily going to be a tripwire that's going to get tripped effectively. I mean, because okay, you're a hacker on Darrian, why wouldn't you have your own custom AI to deal with things? I mean,
Maybe you're not smart enough to make one, maybe, or rich enough to make one, or something.
well, I know,
along
but if you're a master hacker, if you're hiring somebody who's rolling that 5D, which would be what they would be hiring, somebody at that level probably is going to be worth their salt and know what they're doing. I think we're better off hiring somebody to track down the hacker directly through whatever system, rather than, again, the group of names and put an APB out on somebody.
Yeah, I mean, we would, yeah, that's fine. I mean, we would achieve that same thing by going to the person I was talking about, right? By going to a place where there might be someone who knows the people capable of doing this,
Well, I mean, yeah, we
and the
just
people
hire
that can hunt them.
we hire a master hacker to go after this other hacker.
We don't know anything about the other hacker to give him like a clue, though.
Well, that's his job, isn't it? That's why we're paying him. We know, like, you know, we may find out what different shell companies may hire him. You know, we know what we think his target is. So, you know, we're not going to be able to tell, you know, this guy, if we hire a master hacker, he's going to know the other professionals in his line of work. So he's going to know where to start. And we're going to, you know, if we say we're hiring a master hacker, we're trying to track down somebody who may well have been hired or who may be planning in the next 4 days to hack into the TAS vault system so that something can be lifted from there. We need you to find that person before.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
We're arguing
That should
about
give him enough
exactly
information to go. Yeah.
Yeah, we're arguing about the exact nature of the job, but we already agreed on that on everything up to that point. So we should just go talk to the guy, or see if we
Okay.
can even find the guy.
So I take it you're going down to the space town?
Do we have to?
If
That's where the bar is.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just hire him online?
He won't talk to you online.
No, for fuck's sake. These guys. This is Darrian, for Christ's sake. What do you mean you won't talk to me online?
I mean, it's
Because they might be listened to by Starport authorities. Hey, how about this illegal thing I'm doing?
You
All
wouldn't
right.
want to talk to us anyway.
I mean, we hired the last guy online, so, you know, I just figured.
Yeah, but that was on like a tech like 11 world.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's okay.
I will preemptively change into clothes that do not say, "I have legal authority, fear me."
So you take off the sash?
Well, yeah, if that's all that's necessary, yes.
Now, if you want to make yourself look lower in social standing than you are, then you'll need to dress down. But if you just want to hide that you're a noble, you just stow away a badge of nobility, or sash of nobility in your case.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. And with that, we'll take our break. Be back in a bit.
Okie dokie.
Hello, everybody. I have returned. The investigation is taking a very interesting turn. Hopefully for them, it passes. I'll check some balances, yeah? Let's get back with them. I have returned.
I have been here the entire time.
How dare you?
Wow.
Yuck, N.
That's me.
You arrive in the city in question. It is another beautiful city. This one's nestled within a very mountainous region, a smaller continent. And you find yourself quickly whisked away on a smaller grav vehicle to a seaside residence with various panels of beige, emerald green, and silver. And the grav vehicle kind of come to a stop just outside of the household. Well, this is the address we have in system, the driver tells you.
Oh well. Would you please remain here for 10 minutes while I make sure that I'm welcome to stay? Otherwise, it will be a long and awkward wait.
Certainly, don't mind at all.
Thank you. And something extra for you for now. And he's gonna step out of the vehicle after tipping.
Takes the tip kindly, and you find yourself standing in. You don't see any gate or anything. You see like the sort of somewhat natural, faux natural. Think lawn. Think less mowed and manicured lawn, but it isn't quite wild. It fakes being wild, if that makes any sense. And there's like a little stone path leading up to the door.
It's kind of like a yuppie that insists that they're a hippie.
Yeah.
A granola girl, rather than a true lesbian. All right, well, saunter up the stone path, one independent limb after the other.
As you manipulate your way up the path, you see that the various stones change color and make faint musical tones.
Ooh, me likey. I wonder if this person might be a hiver, just like me. That would be great. Haven't met a hiver in a while.
And you find yourself in front of this elegant looking wooden, it appears like a wooden door with a brass contact point on the outside, but now that you're standing up to it, you can tell it's some sort of metal reinforced door that has the holographic illusion that it's made of wood.
Well, if I were a strike-breaking shell company owning semi-villain, that's how I would have a door as well. To be fair, all my doors have been bulkheads for the last like 40 years, so yeah. I'm gonna see if there's an interface to signal my arrival. Most
Do you
likely
have
she already knows.
you hover your appendage near the door, looking for some sort of interface, and you see a holographic key pad appear, and you see various options in the Darrian language, but also in Anglic, and one of them is the door chime button. There's other buttons for like I'm delivery, I'm this, I'm that, but there's a generic ringing of the doorbell button.
What other buttons are there except for the? I'm very interested.
There is a delivery button. There is a appointment button, which when you think about that in Anglic that may refer to business or medical appointment. It's unclear because it's on a Darrian world. And there's another button that indicates a delivery. So probably food or drinks or whatever.
I'll press the appointment button.
Hello, and welcome to this domicile. What is your appointment number? You hear a voice echo from the door.
I'm gonna state my union rep identification code.
Number not found in database. Goodbye.
I-
And the interface shuts off, and you hear the crackle of noise stops. If you wave your appendage again, the display will come up. The computer just stopped paying attention to you for once it didn't see your number.
Neoken is taken aback by the rudeness of this computer interface, but then again, it is a computer. It's not programmed for empathy. So he's gonna just chime the doorbell a couple of times.
Hello, and welcome to this domicile. What business do you have here?
I have a meeting with your owner.
Do you have an appointment number?
I do not.
Could you state your name and UPP number, and I can forward it to the resident of this domicile? And they may make their own independent decision as to whether to meet you or not.
What is the position that I have within the company? Did we establish that?
Did you guys? Within your corporation.
Did we what now?
Formally title what Niak N does in your company.
Not yet, because I think all we did was basically do a standard incorporation document so that we could transfer the shares and get the ball rolling.
So you'd be the placeholder until it was formalized would be like crew crew employee of LATVG Imperial Shipping Company, something like that.
Calcian did probably put him down because that's what they were discussing as executive officer.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, with I think they left the specific terms of that for later negotiation. But
So executive officer of LATVG.
Yeah. So you're stating that title. Formerly VAC Worker Union Rep Nyok N. UPP 6C 56A8. Last time I checked it, anyway.
Give me social standing 3 dice plus a skill you believe would be of help here.
I guess advocate in that case.
I'll take it, yeah.
So a target number of 11. And you said 3 dice.
Yep.
That's fine.
1 moment, please. And you hear a soothing song being played over the through the door speakers wherever they are. Door hold music. Eventually, the door, you hear a loud thunking noise, and then it slides open. And you see the inside of a rather plush-looking hall. And you see hovering in the air, blinking gold and azure lights, like little pellets in the air, indicating a path that leads up a stairwell. Follow the indicated area for your meeting.
Nyokan skitters up the stairs. He makes sure to wipe his appendages off on an appropriate surface.
You actually find there's a little area where Sophin can have a footwear cleaner, which you could use your appendages and get in the same area. You just tell it to not be as... You set it for delicate footwear setting rather than like work boot. Otherwise it's going to brush the hell out of your appendage, and that would be very uncomfortable.
So essentially like suede or very, very high quality suit shoes.
Yeah, which that's enough to clean off a hiver's appendage, because you do have, because your appendages are fairly durable because they're what you touch the world with in general.
Yeah. Just need them a little bit shinier. But yeah, so he skitters up the stairs.
Eventually you're led into you walk by various artworks and carpets, and it's rather old-fashioned, but there's always the hint of the technological, a holographic there, a sensor there. But it's trying its hard. This place is trying its hardest to hide the high technology in a very Darrian. Actually, not in a rather what's the word? Contrarian approach to Darrian. Darrian like showing off that they're high tech. They don't like hiding that they are, unless, well, for various reasons. But this is odd. Most of the places you've seen, if they want you to know their tech, almost immediately. Which, you know,
contrarian and potentially nostalgic for a past place of living, some place where there were less tech, maybe.
Eventually, you find yourself inside a room that does away with the pretensions of the old world, as it were, and you are instead surrounded by various hollow screens and hard screens and tablets and desks and books. Just every available wall surface is a computer of some kind with interfaces. And in the middle of it, you see there's one Darrian who's kind of moving stuff around in the air, and then a little flicker of light appears on one of the displays and shows a video feed of you moving into the room. He kind of waves his hands in front of his face for a second, and a lot of it clears away. It's still all lit up, but it's not, all the interfaces are gone. Representative N.
Yeah. Pardon the intrusion.
I have to ask what a VAC rep is doing here, but according to my computer, you're employed now. Newly employed, I guess I should be saying.
To
His
be fair.
Anglic sounds weird. Like he must be not used to using it often.
All right. To be fair, I have retired as a union rep. It is a formal title, but I much prefer the executive officer title that I sport since today. Sometime. It is an interesting one. Your name came up when I was contemplating a mission that I have from my associates. And I would like to ask you a couple of questions about if you know said company or have workings with their sponsor. Please remind me again what the numbers were. Was it 461 or what?
646. 646.
646.
Should probably
The 646 code.
And you are going to give me a personal interaction roll to get him to tell you.
I'm a hiver. This is what I do.
So it's page 184 of the first book. You are trying to ask him a question. You're querying him. Say you're trying to be a bit charming about this. You're trying to be friendly about it.
I'm not calling him a strike breaker outright, so.
Oh, that doesn't help with querying. Whoops. Yeah, exactly. I'll say on that list, active listening. Well, discussing rather. That makes more sense because you're not peeling. You're a member of a company he may want to do business with, so refer. So 2 times 2, 6. You're similar to each other. You're not that far from each other, so. Two times 4. 5. Currently, I have you at 5 on 2d6. Do you have any skill you think would help smooth this water, make him more likely to tell you something?
Well,
You think would help?
Both advocate and trader, leader perhaps, or broker.
I'll
These are all
I'll take trader.
Yeah.
Yeah, trader to them.
One then. 3 dice or 2.
2.
There you go.
Yeah, I work in numbers companies. 646 is one of mine. How can I help you with it? Do you have some business with them?
Well, I might as well make this a group call then. And I'm gonna, if you don't mind, of course.
Depends who you're contacting. I assume your company?
My associates, yes.
Computer, allow outgoing call. Acknowledged. He gestures to you to go ahead.
Calling Tarban.
No.
You get this call as you're stepping out of the space elevator.
Not particularly. What's up?
I have the owner of said company, um, well, in front of me, and I thought, since I don't know all the details, I'd assume you wanted to fill us in on what you're looking for with said contact.
You have the owner of the company?
Am I correct in assuming that you are the owner of the 646 company?
I am an agent for the owner.
You're an agent for the owner. All right.
Sure. Put me on speaker.
Speaker.
Hello.
You see
Whatever
La Lodren wave his hand, and then you see you see there's like a depends how you called him, Niak. If you called him over voice or over video, because you could do either, because you're both on the same planet right now. Because La Lodren's about to throw it up on a big screen on one of the walls.
I mean, you're a more striking person in like face to face, and I like to read facial expressions when I can't
Smell you anyway.
smell.
Right. Fair enough.
So you see, you go from seeing Niak's face, and then you see the room.
Okay.
So you see both Niak and La Lodren.
Hello, my name is Tarbin Arctos. I am a shareholder in the LATVG company. To whom do I have the honor of speaking?
I am La Lodren, a agent for interested commercial parties.
Yes, it is your parties and the parties ultimately behind 646 company that we are particularly interested in. We are attempting to determine the ultimate ownership behind 646 company, which has rented out, or reserved rather, Dock R2 in the High Port, at least for the next 4 days. Am I correct?
I could get you that sort of information. It seems like forgive me for saying so, it seems like an odd thing for a shipping company to be so concerned with, given how many ports there are, both at the high port and the low port.
Indeed. It might well seem so. However, we believe that
I'll
this
highlight
is
to you, Tarbin, as well, that you noticed Lodren's his accent's weird when he's speaking Anglic, like he's really not used to speaking it. So he's probably going to struggle to understand very complex words. But you're not. No one's said anything that's thrown him off yet. You just hear the accent.
Okay. I doubt, the only other options I have for him are Sodic and Zedetl, unless he's more comfortable in Zedetl. Okay. Yes, I can quite understand that, actually, sir. This is more of a matter of security for my companions and I, who are moving some highly valuable cargo through the spaceport and the TAS offices. And we believe that there are certain elements that may be attempting to intercept and relieve us of our property, and who may or may not have already committed at least one murder in the TAS hotel room. So we are
Allegedly.
seeking. I said may or may not. And so we are seeking to eliminate potential security risks. The reservation of a docking bay for the period of 7 standard days is somewhat unusual, so we thought it was worth checking into the ultimate ownership of 646 company, if nothing else, to eliminate them from our list of potential security threats.
He waves his hand in the air a bit. Tarbin, you can't really tell what it is he's looking up because you're seeing it from the wrong side.
Right.
Niak, you can see what he's doing. It's in the Darrian language. I don't think you speak it, but
How is the layout? That's more interesting to me in that case.
of the room or what he's looking at.
No, of what he's looking at. If it's a like a security program or stuff like that, then that should be semi-recognizable at least.
Give me intelligence. I'm gonna up it to 3 dice because you're guessing at something you don't see the language of. Computers.
Computers or comms, yeah.
And what's your computer skill?
Computers 1.
Oh, you owe me an extra die then because this is hard for you.
Ah, fuck. Yeah, that's not gonna cut the mustard, man.
Yeah, there's too much of it that's in that language. Rough layout. I can tell you for free, you don't see any big red flashing buttons of like a security alert or anything like that. You do see there is one bit in there that you do recognize without any roll. It's the Imperial Anglic letters of LATVG, and then a bunch of other words in his language.
So he's looking up the legitimacy of our company, or he's just gonna buy us.
He's looking us up.
Stares at the thing for a second. He makes some gestures. One moment, please. Sorry. Just looking something up.
Of course.
Neocan just sways from side to side, semi-spinning rotating the star on the end of his main limb in a fidgety pattern. He does that to just pass time.
Probably also resisting the urge to let the curiosity pull him around the room.
Oh yes, yeah. He stim in order not to stim in other ways.
Man. Oh, bye now. I saw a painting over there. Okay. So, well, I've looked up your company. Oh. Are you in a government contract of some kind? Or is this personal? Well, let me rephrase that. Sorry. Are you government, commercial, or personal? He nods at that.
Okay, GM, what's the difference between personal and commercial?
Give me. It's his Anglic that's screwing him. Give me intelligence 2 dice.
I mean, I could answer that for free, essentially.
You can guess at it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, personal would be if we're not doing anything special with it. It's just essentially a holding company for our interests. But if it's commercial, then we're actually doing things with it. And
Right,
if it's
but I mean,
government, it's both.
is it just a bare intelligence roll?
Yeah.
Right.
You could add a skill if you think it would help here, but it's just a straight intelligence roll. It's you figuring out what the hell this guy's talking. He's using his Anglic in a weird way, and it's throwing you off.
Okay.
Like there's a way to say it. The way you said it's kind of confusing.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just use the base intelligence roll. Let's see. But just made it dead on.
You get it. There's a word he's missing there. He's asking if you're a patron, if you're doing a personal job, or you're on a commercial patron, or you're a patron of government. Like, is this a job you're on?
Right.
But he missed the word to say patron or something. Like it must be implied in his language.
Right. In this particular circumstance, LATVG is operating in its own stead. We are not operating as a contractor for any other entity.
Contractor. He waves his hand.
We're not working for anyone else. We're doing our corporation is doing this on its own.
Oh, yes. Personal. Right. Understood. Well, he shrugs. I have no particular need to hold this information beyond the normal rates. 7,000 credits, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'll transfer the funds.
You notice he looks up on the screen, and you don't need to do another roll for this, Neok. You can see that he's looking up that the money actually goes to his account. He waves that away. He pulls up something else. And you see, before he says anything, you see this symbol appear.
Oh. Personally, I don't know what that is, but Nyokan would probably know what that is.
You would know that as the Jordani consulate emblem. Mind you, Jordani in general like that symbol. It's their government. It's their national symbol. Or
Which symbol?
The upper right one. This one.
Okay. Sure wish Oblifatil was here.
And he then pulls a name and then hucks it over to the screen where both of you can see it. The 66 Zetpli Corps.
Interesting.
And then
Okie
they're a Jordani security firm, he clarifies. Security firm? He looks at his thing and waves it around. He says something in the Jordani language.
I speak Citadel.
How many ranks? See if you need to roll at all.
8.
You don't need to roll this. You got it. He says more clearly that they are a extension of the Jordani consulate law enforcement. So they're not the key like mind police guys, but they're one of the people they send abroad to do stuff. And sometimes people can hire them as the equivalent in Imperium is people could hire them not quite as mercenaries, but as private security contractors because it helps offset their costs while they're moving around doing stuff. But they don't do like hits or anything like that. Generally, they do stuff like it has to be of some interest to the consulate for them to bother.
Okay.
Otherwise, they won't get involved. Like the money won't be an issue for them, but they will charge you money, and they charge really good money because you have psychic people in their in that number. In general, not all companies do, but if they're mind police people, they probably do. There's at least one or two functionaries in there that are psychers.
Okay.
They asked me to. He switches back to Anglet. They asked me to set up the company for them.
Very well. You have been very helpful. And I appreciate the opportunity to do business with you, and we'll certainly keep you in mind should our company need your services in future.
Would you like me to conceal that you looked this up from the party in question? Should they ask? He smiles.
I don't think that should be terribly necessary, and let's be frank, should there actually be psychers aboard, if they really wanted to know, it wouldn't matter whether you said anything or not, would it?
As you say, Mr. Arctos.
I don't think. Are you here, Calcian?
Yeah. I mean,
So
I assumed I was here. I don't think the call was ever shared with me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm figuring we're walking side by side, so you're at least hearing it or hearing my part of it. Do you think we need to pay him off to conceal that we asked about this?
Oh, my 2 cents?
Sure.
We're so filthy rich, do we care?
Well,
Ask him how much he's asking. Let's see if it's within our budget. If it's not, well, screw it then.
Just out of curiosity, what would your discretion be worth?
Same as my processing fee, 7,000.
Okay, I'll pay that.
Please, like, we eat that shit for breakfast.
He's having a nice day. He just made 14K in one phone call. He's having a great day. That's why he lives in this damn house. Very well.
Again, thank you very much.
Of course. And if you have any need of commercial agency.
Of course, I will keep you in mind.
Well, I think that is the conclusion of the call. Thank you,
Yeah.
Darb.
One of you disconnects and eventually you don't see Dren anymore. Oh, sorry. Tarbin's face disappears. We're still in the computer room.
Yes. Do you have anything that you'd like to ask me?
Well, I would like to know what exactly your company is up to. Like if they need any, from what I looked up about them, you're looking to be a, well, let me put it to you this way, actually. 'Cause I don't want to compromise you or make you put you in an unethical position. But unethical? Illicit? Anyway. I would be interested in, when your ship is done, some beagle work. And I was wondering if there was any hope of getting a reserved slot when your ship is ready. Beagle work, to translate to you, is the private exploration data collection.
We might be able to fit that into our schedule. Do you have a prepared file?
Well, I would like a call. I'd like to be the first one you call when for that mission slot, once the ship's ready to go. How much of a processing fee would you like to charge for that?
If you pay in advance, then we might be able to ensure that that is the next mission.
How much of an advance are we talking?
Well, 14K is probably...
Nice.
Okay, yeah, now you're gonna roll for that one.
Now, this is what I used to do. This is very fun.
sorry, I stepped away. What are we buying from them?
He's interested in hiring us for a Beagle contract once the ship is built, and he wants to reserve first call. Once we get the ship built, he wants us to call him first for the job.
You're looking.
Advocating for the company or brokering a deal.
Can we say he might get it?
We're not there. This is all Neok. We're no longer in comms with him.
3d6 base target number of 7, plus a skill you believe may be of help.
Yeah, that would be advocate. That's my better one. But anyone of trader or broker.
I would take broker.
No, then let's do broker. Based on my social or just the target number of 7?
7 plus your skill of trader.
7 plus skill. All right. And then it was 3 dice, right?
Yep.
That is not great. I do not like that.
He's unwilling to pay that much for it, but he's not gonna ask it for nothing. I mean, you're providing a service. So I blew right by the thing I needed.
I'm willing to renegotiate if nothing else.
Oh, you can try again.
I'm willing to renegotiate the deal in that he doesn't get a guaranteed spot, but the fact that he pays me will definitely put him at the first person we call to ask
If you want to try again, you basically have to flatter him, beg him, or be exceptionally polite about it to get him to take that higher number.
I mean, I'll fuck him if to get a deal, but you know.
But it's the same terms. You're just trying to get him the same terms, and you're just being a lot more flattering about it than the initial push.
Ledrin. Can I call you Ledrin?
So yep, you can try again with +1 to the target number.
Still 3 dice.
Yep.
That's better.
I mean, you didn't come all this way, and you're rather well-to-do hiver with good company. First call, almost 14K for first call. And if we like the deal together, we like it. If we don't, we don't. But I want to be the first one you talk to when the ship's ready. For a beagle job, for a beagle slot, anyway.
Here you have my personal contact information. Please don't leak it, but when I have anything, I'll call you.
He transfers the credits to you. Oh, I don't sell personal information. So I wouldn't worry about that. There's something about that sounds weird at Anglic. He missaid that, but sounds like he's being nice.
Ah. Then, my friend, we have a deal. And I shall be on my way. Would you be so kind and call me a Grav?
The one's still waiting for you, I believe.
Oh. He must have liked the tip. And I shall be on my way.
Safe travels.
It is a lovely house you have. Very retro. I think that's how the humanities would call it.
Retro. He waves his hand in the air for a second. You see like images, and It looks like a dictionary definition he's looking up. He says something. He nods. Ah, yes, retro. Yes.
And Nyoken is sliding out on back feet. Going out to the grab taxi.
We cut back to Tarbin, Calvier, and Calcian walking through the Star Town, having freshly gotten free of their phone call.
Oh yeah, it looks like they've hired somebody has hired a Jadani core.
Do we know anything about what this core is other than it's Jildani?
Maybe can I try and recall knowledge? Maybe they've served with me on an expedition before, just like the other corps did.
We know they're kind of an extension of Jadani consulate law enforcement.
Then you would have been at war with them, not.
Oh, I see.
Sort of like they're not the Psy cops or whatever they're called directly. They only as they're moving through, wherever they're going, you can hire them kind of like as private security forces. But they don't do like assassinations and stuff like that. It's just more of gigs to help support their cost of traveling, and every job they take has to be of some level of interest to the consulate itself. They are very expensive, and they usually include at least a few psychers. See, this is where I really wish that Bliffatil was here, because his contacts with the consulate might be able to take the next investigatory step. But so somebody with cash is supporting them more than likely.
Well, we don't know who, but we can guess at who it is, right? It's the corpse. Surely.
Oh yeah, install arms.
Okay, I'm thinking, what can we do to throw them off our scent?
Assuming this has anything to do with us at all.
Yeah, it may not have anything to do with us, and we're not just investigating them for the interest of it. We're kind of looking in every direction to try to unturn any rock that anyone is trying to steal the case. If all of this turns out to be not related to the case, then that's good.
Right.
Because, we're waiting until we're trying to make sure no one steals the case before what's his name is declared officially dead.
Right. So yeah, I say we continue on with our hacker cracker hiring.
Yeah.
So you got this hacker bar.
Oh, and I've already been keeping. Oh, he paid us an extra 14. Okay, I was about to say I've been keeping the track of the money that the company owes us, but not the money that was given to us for a potential phone call. Oh, which means Tarbin, the company's gonna pay you back for buying all that stuff during that phone call, right?
Yeah, I'm just kind of keeping a list in my notes of how much personal cash has been spent on company junk, and we can figure it out.
Oh, I kind of, because we've spent like 50 or something. I kind of just left everything before we formed the company, just forget about that, and started today.
Yeah, okay.
And then you spent 14 on the phone with that guy to get that information, so I just wire the money straight from him to you through the company.
Oh, okay.
I like that one better.
Then I'll just...
I'm gonna try to keep the party money pool accurate as the
Okay.
company's assets, not our assets.
Plan. Let me put that 1400 back. There it is.
Keep in mind, walking to the Star Town, the current law level will prevent you from walking around with any weapons that aren't long arms. So no pistols. Oh wait, no, I take that back. Sorry, it can't be something you can hide in your jacket. It has to be open carry if it's a firearm, and no energy weapons.
Then I don't think that applies to me. I have a pistol and a long rifle, but they both are slug throwers. I mean, one is a tech level 16 Gauss rifle, but that's a slug thrower. So.
I have an elephant killer, which is huge.
But it's a slug thrower.
Yeah.
And it's not. The issue is not that it is potentially concealable, right? The issue is
that you don't conceal it.
Personal conceal it.
Yeah, personal concealables that are so small they're super easy to conceal. That's its own category again. Like a personal concealable is like, you could be open carrying it, but we don't let you walk around with it because you could easily lose it in a pocket. Whereas that elephant killer, it's like, you're not stuffing that in a pocket. You'd have to purposely tuck it under your jacket to evade to.
No, I have a holster for it.
Exactly right. Like that's.
Yeah, then I'll make sure to adjust my jacket so that that all the weapons are visible.
I mean, the bear has a Magnum pistol that he's just wearing.
And you don't have clothes, right?
Yeah, and pretty much.
You find yourself. Wait, don't you? I thought Tarvin wore armor of some kind.
Just a vac suit.
Oh, okay.
When he needed to. Yeah, which I can't imagine I'm wearing right now.
Some people walk around with those things without their helmet on. It's fashion.
Well, I mean,
thing for them. Plus free armor.
20. It's not bad, but.
I would, but I need all those mega credits. I need the several 100,000 mega credits it costs to get any decent armor. For other things.
But no, I don't think I'll be walking around in a vac suit.
So you walk into a. Whereas a lot of places have various levels of technology and various symbology, much like the High Port, but mixed in with this sort of nature meets hypertech blend. In here, any illusion of the natural world ever existing or ever will existing in this world is blinded by bright green holographic lights all across the room, various symbols that are lost on you unless you speak the Darrian language. There's a lot of Darrians in here and Aslan in here. The Aslan take note of Tarvin in particular. They size him up for a second, and then seeing that Tarvin you're not in armor, you're not carrying a big sword or anything, so they kind of just like, oh, okay, you don't look like a tough to them or a thug of any kind, so they kind of just brush you off and continue their conversations with whoever they were talking to. And as you progress into the middle of the room, no one greets you. Everyone just kind of carries on with their day, ignoring your presence, which is kind of odd because some of the places you've been to, like eating and stuff, usually a digital representation would greet you, or there'd be some sort of arrow telling you where you could go. This place expects you to know what the symbols mean and why you're here. This place is not meant for tourists.
Can I understand what's written?
Yep, you can. If you understand the language, you get what the symbols are. You're like, oh, that's indicating that's where bathroom is, that's where the music machine is, that's where you order drinks, that sort of thing. This is private, stay away from me, that sort of thing. That's actually not a symbol meaning anything, it's just an art piece for the sound of ah. It's very avant-garde.
Any obvious signs of anyone who's kind of set up to be a fixer, like someone who's holding court, basically?
Oh, you'd find someone, all right. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Actually, I'll check. It is, never mind. 1 second to make sure it's the right person. Yep, this person. There's one creature, there's one Sophant in this room that stands out from everyone else other than you three. There's a Vargor holding court in the back, a dog person.
Curious.
She seems to be. Say again, sorry.
Have I seen these before?
Vargar, you would have run into a Vargar once or twice. They bop around, especially their Corsairs.
They're one of the people that have big empires.
Yep. They're coreward of the Third Imperium. So when you were where, so they're not that, they're only a couple sectors away from where you used to work. To give you an idea. This Vargar seems, for Vargar are very generally very lean, athletic creatures by nature. This one looks like she hasn't gone hunting for anything for a long time. And you notice that the fur is cut very, very short to show off the darker tanned underskin, which is kind of odd for a Vargar. They're usually very proud of their fur. And there seems to be like stripes of black indicating something. It means something to the Vargar, but it's lost on you if you're not familiar with them that much.
Then I move over there to like. I assume that there's some like tough standing nearby that's kind of like
There's a couple
controlling who has act.
There's a couple of Aslan sitting at her table as she's kind of nursing a drink.
Then I'll walk up and say, I'm looking for someone who knows slicers that do big jobs. And you look like you know a few.
Her sad brown eyes kind of look up from her drink and looks and sees you. And she just stares at you. The toughs don't do anything.
Well, you're the socialite.
I wait. I guess I kind of enter into like a 10 to 20 second long staring contest, right? I'm waiting for her.
Carbon will roll his eyes and kind of blow out a big, breath. All right, what's everybody drinking?
I'll have some wine.
I look
They
at
do serve wine.
I look at the Vargar and her people.
Gossip, she finally says.
Gossip. I look at the thugs. Gossip. Orange whip.
The Aslan thugs kind of they growl a bit at you, which probably that's a no.
Such interesting specimens.
Tristani, when you hear the word gossip, that's like rock gut in Villani.
Moonshine.
Which it's also the brand name for a really cruddy beer back home.
Well,
they just embraced the idea they were crap beer. Like, yeah, we're crap. Who cares?
I guess,
It's like
Dogs
Budweiser.
will eat
When they slightly growl at me, Tarbin will kind of give his bare jaws a good snap as he goes to get drinks. He'll get Calvir's wine and Langhoff's.
I didn't order anything.
You'll get Langhoff something and
He'll get a club soda.
Himself some sort of, I don't know, beer. mead if they have it with a little honey. That'd be good.
They have a lot of very rich and heavy drinks. They do have meads, but it's adulterated with other things to kind of take the bright notes and pull them way down. More of Aslan palette, less
Okay.
Ursine
Okay.
palette.
Anything there particularly appealing to me in the
Not really.
selection?
Not really. This place does not pride itself on its drinks or food, for that
Is the
matter.
wine that I'm going to get also like table wine that you use in like
It's a
stews and whatnot?
It's actually one of those plastic boxes you see.
It's box wine.
It's
Yeah.
box
Oh
wine.
God!
Don't worry, it has a little tab you can reclose when you're done drinking for a bit.
Grief. Look, I had this when I was like 15 in parks. I don't need... God.
It's the
Okay.
Capri Sun of wine.
Ugh.
So yeah, Tarbin will get yeah.
Any Capri Sun is wine if you leave it for long.
That's true.
Tarbin will just get something that he can stand to drink, and then he'll break.
You get the
drinks
feeling you
back
guys
to the-
you guys are well. This place is well below your social standing. This is this is swill.
And Tarbin hands it out a box wine, carburetor cleaner for in front of the Vargar heavy, something purple to Calcium, and then he'll take whatever that he got himself.
I think
Now
club
then.
soda might actually be the safest thing in this bar.
Now then, are you two done staring at each other yet, or?
Once the drink is provided, she says, "Enkel Geth, and you are." And she takes a swig.
Travelers. Is our name
More-
important?
More specifically, travelers interested in hiring slicers.
Oh, for God's sakes! I'm Tarbin Arctos.
Very well, if you must know, I'm Professor Trusani.
You don't need to know who I am.
It's fine. You just need to know the two of us, I suppose.
You're awfully well dressed. And
Look at
far
my
away
laptop.
from home.
You talk
Kieran-
awfully slow for someone who likes money.
If you're intending to mug us, I think you'd mug us already. Instead, we have something to offer you instead.
Oh, I wouldn't mug you, dear Valani. I'd eat ya. She chomps her teeth together and chuckles at that very poor taste joke. You don't joke about eating. Sapiens don't joke about eating other sapiens. That's creepy.
I'm quite tough, you know. Wouldn't be too good for eating. And I'm pretty sure I picked up some radiation disease back in my days as a researcher. But accurate.
You've never seen him with a slug thrower. I bet he'd be eating you.
In any case, we have something that might interest you.
And I'm not too sure we have much to worry about from such a mangy pack anyway, but whatever.
The two Azan look angry for a second, and then you notice they look like they're like, okay, we're gonna beat these people up, right? She's too distracted with her drink, and they just look disappointed that she's not answering the challenge in any way. And they kind of give you a look, almost like they're apologizing, like, oh, like you were trying to start a fight. Sorry, we would have gone for it, but oh well.
Tarbin winks and shrugs.
She
We're
kind of
looking for someone of your talents to help us out with the little dilemma we have, you see.
Did you lose the password to your favorite toilet, or?
It's something more serious than that, I'm afraid. The pay is good, if
Oh.
it interests you.
How good?
Well, let's just say that you might be able to afford dinner and drinks in a much better place than this one.
What's wrong with this place? It's fine.
It smells of dog piss.
It's my territory. Of course I pissed on it.
He has a point.
Well, I suppose. Well, it could also buy you a ticket off this planet, should you want it.
She looks up at that. All right, sit down, sit down. The Aslan finally move out of the way so you can sit at her table.
Gentlemen, would you mind briefing the... Is bitch the proper term here? The young lady, what this is about?
Hardly ever.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say no.
Would you mind giving her the quick rundown of what we're supposed to be doing then?
We need a slicer to hunt another slicer.
Ooh, a hunt. I like hunts.
You could have fooled me.
I could hunt you down for hours. She licks her chops at you.
If you could get out of your seat.
All right, you two, get a room, or let's
There's-
finish making this deal.
I didn't know that you were in heat as well, Calcium. God, I can smell her from a mile away, but you?
The two Aslan kind of step in the way to make sure people can't approach your table. But they move a little further away, so they're not literally within arm's reach of people sitting at the table anymore.
But yes, we are looking for someone that you should find for us. If you are interested, like I said, the pay is good.
Fine. 72 credits, I can get you some slicer or another.
Send you what?
Send you what, sorry?
72, 7 and 2. She nods.
Send you 72 credits, and you can
I
get
think
someone?
I think she means... thousands?
No, 7-2, 72. I can speak Anglic, Villani.
I'll slide out my credit chip at her, like, here, 72 credits.
We want someone a lot more expensive than that.
No, I'm just getting the call. She takes the credits, takes out a pad, and starts pawing at it.
Yep, she's our go-between.
Yeah, but a go-between who charges less than 100 credits for this kind of work?
Don't sweat it, she likes us. Or she likes you, maybe, I don't know. 72 credits is very specific, though. I'm curious.
Potentially 10%.
She reaches under her chair and paws underneath it after looking something up, and then you see her pull out this massive duffel bag. You hear the jingle jangle of various things, metallic, leathery, meaty, maybe. And oh, the smell isn't her you're smelling; it's whatever's in there. It smells not great. It smells awful.
Ugh.
What is it? Can I tell? I've smelled decomposing corpses before, I think.
Give me intelligence 3d6, biology.
This is hard to fix in. God dang it. So 46.
Can't Tarvin get like a brief synopsis of whatever's dead in her bag's backstory?
Right.
I actually made it.
That smells like dog piss, liquor, and decomposing flesh.
I thought as much. I don't suppose I can tell who that what race that flesh belongs to, or would that be too specific?
Sophons have meat. This could be a hiver in there for all you know.
Well,
I'm wishing I brought my vac suit now.
And what's in there, I'll ask?
Pause. She pulls out a big red binder, slaps it onto the table, and she starts flipping through a book. And you see there's like a picture of different people with UPP codes and skill qualifications. She starts paging through them.
Carbon sneezes explosively from the foul stench.
It is incredible. Yeah, this is hell for you. Know what?
While also resisting the urge to roll in it.
You know what, Tarbin? The one thing I'll say, as strong as it is, you smell a hint of freezer burn through it all. It's muted, like it smells bad, but it's like rotted meat that you froze. But it's unfreezing again, so it's kind of that weird mix of smells that's unpleasant.
You know, if you wrapped that stuff better, you wouldn't get the freezer burn on it.
It'll keep. So here's a few people, and she offers you a range of slicers of various skill level.
But it would taste so much better without the freezer burn. I mean, do you know what that does to the meat?
Who said I'm gonna eat it? Maybe I like looking at it.
Well, I mean, whatever floats your boat, but
Tarvin, please. This is no time to
Well-
worry about freezer burns and corpses.
it's always time to worry about food.
This isn't
How
food,
many
you
hours?
maniac. It's a corpse. It's not food.
Everybody has the right to, eat whatever they want to eat, and but have it. But everybody
Not-
needs to know how to best.
Tarvin,
use it.
not now.
Not
Not now.
legally, not legally on Darrian. Actually, you very much don't.
If you had your way, you'd probably salt it and dry it to death. Ugh. She almost retches onto the table at the thought, and then stops herself.
Yeah, that is pretty awful, but it's worse than freezer burn. I will give you that. But still, you can avoid freezer burn if you just package your food properly.
Animals. I traveled with animals, I swear.
The two Aslan look at you. The Vargar glares at you, and then
I have seen you eat a rare steak.
the Aslan then stop looking at
I
the
do-
Valani, and the Vargar
I do
continues
travel
paging
with
through the book. Why'd you tell me that?
I do travel with animals.
So, okay, what kind of talent we looking at here?
The best and brightest, of course. I'm in the wrong part of the book entirely, aren't I? I am.
I'll take the brightest because the best might not be the brightest.
Evidently. Oh, I know what I'm looking for. There. So you just want them to do... You want them to catch another hacker, right?
Possibly the best. Yes.
Got one guy who'll do it for 500 a day as long as he gets to steal what he wants and sell off what he finds. Beyond what you're looking for, anyway.
We'll hire
And
him
for someone more discreet,
I need the other book. Hold on. I should pause through it again.
Well, for this guy, we can hire him for 2 weeks in advance, and he'll give us a third of what he steals.
we definitely don't need him for that long, though.
Well, yeah, but it's for giving us a third of what he steals.
But we don't want to do that. We
Got
don't wanna
a guy who'll do it
anything
5,000 a day. Best guy I got who's discreet. Hey, my can's empty. Oh, that's the empty can. That's my full can. She drinks at that.
5,000 a day.
We can do that for 4 days.
Yeah.
Option to continue the contract if necessary.
Each of us gives 5k. We should be set, right?
Trying to remember what's the hiring table on what page is that on, GM? I know we looked at it one time before. The table that shows you the certification level and rates.
Oh,
don't-
I've been using the certification as my baseline for how much I've been fluctuating it depending on different things. So there's probably a bit for hiring crew that way, but I'm not sure where that is.
It's actually
So-
it's kind of the reverse. There's a bit that's for hiring, that give accurate wages for people who work 40 hours a week on planets and stuff. And for hiring Marines and naval personnel. But hiring someone skilled to work on a ship is actually kind of difficult to figure out.
So,
And
I mean, in terms of certification, what level of person are we looking at here?
Master's what she's giving you.
Yeah, master's what we want.
Because you said the best. She's like, okay, well, I'll look for a couple of people. Like the other guy was a master as well at 500, but the way he makes his money is by robbing whoever he's going after blind and anyone nearby. Whereas this guy's like, no, do the job. I don't do anything else. I just do the job, get my pay.
Yep, he's who we want. Yeah, I think we can totally do that.
Yeah, like I said, if each of us gives 5K, we should. If each of us here gives 5K, we can be on. You know, we can pay it in advance. Although I don't know if we want to pay it in advance.
Well, we found out what if the guy wants like half up front and half at completion or what.
Okay.
But yeah, we can
Get
work
in
that
touch.
out.
Get in touch with that fellow and see if he'll agree to half up front, half when the deed is done.
I pass on that stuff for you. You don't talk to him. I talk to them.
Well, that's what I said, young lady. Pass on the information to him.
I will. What's the information?
We're going to hire him for 4 days for sure. So that's 20. We'll give him 10 up front, 10 at the end of the 4-day period. Even if he's able to complete the job before the end of the 4 days.
And as Tarbin gets close to describing the details of the job, I would like to pay very close attention to her face and body language. Because Tarbin, I assume, is about to get to the point where he describes what we're trying to prevent them from doing. And she may have helped hire the person who is going to try to do it.
Well, she hadn't asked me yet.
Yeah, she'll basically ask for details because she needs to know who your
Right.
what the job is, whether it's out loud or written on a tablet. She's the one who tells the person the job and then sends them off to do it.
Yeah, we suspect that somebody's going to try and rob the TAS vaults on Highport. And to do that, they're going to need somebody to knock out the computer systems to give whoever's going to go in and actually get the physical item a chance to do it. So we're looking to find out who that is and to prevent them from doing it if possible. And we think the window of opportunity for this job is going to be within the next 4 days.
3 dice, intelligence, counselor, streetwise.
Is it for Tarbin or
For
Calcian?
Yeah.
Say that again.
3 dice, intelligence plus counselor, streetwise. Stewart, oddly.
All right. Success.
She doesn't show any signs of having business that you in that job. Like this seems like a new assignment to her, or a fresh one anyway. All right. She takes all the notes down, and she sometimes asks you to repeat yourself from time to time, and then she scribbles it all down in her pad. Is there a secure box you want them to send messages to alert you? Because them talking to you directly will not look good for someone like you three. So I imagine you would like a Dropbox of some kind.
Yeah, we can do a dead drop sort of situation. We'll designate a location somewhere in the high port where you can drop off the information. Is that all right with you?
Where's the drop? What data
Can
well?
we put it?
Think of it like a PO box, but digital.
We can set
Yeah.
that up right now at the table. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
can we
literally
set it
could.
up like outside
Yeah.
the terminal we hired, so like our private eyes can get access
Right.
to it?
Well, I mean, I think it's basically going to be like an email
Yeah.
kind of thing, right? It's going to be we just give them the password.
Yeah, Calver can like take out his PC and like set it up. laptop
Easily
setting.
done. It's a you're not in a hostile world at the moment, so it's easy to set that up.
We'll get that done.
We give her the address and she writes that down. All right. Any updates they get or alerts, they'll put it in that box. If you have any special instructions, now's the time to tell me, because you're not talking to them after this.
Well, from my end, I suppose just don't let it be known that you're searching for someone. Keep it on the down low, you know?
I think they gathered that, but I'll note it down anyway. She taps her pad a couple times, but doesn't actually draw any letters.
Take the information that we receive, make it as detailed as possible. We need to find this person, physically.
She'll scribble that down.
That's about it for me. You guys got anything to add?
The most valuable thing they can do to pay off the contract is stopping it if it does start to happen. If they notice the activity's going off, then
Scribble.
stop it.
Yeah, that would be worth a significant bonus.
Scribble. Drink.
Right.
I think we've bothered you enough for one day, I think.
Oh, don't worry, I'm plenty bothered. She licks her chops again.
I suppose you are. Gentlemen, shall we?
Yes.
Good. I would say it was a pleasure, but with the locale, it's been somewhat less of a pleasure. But nonetheless.
Oh, and Valani?
Hmm. Yes.
If you want to get back to the brighter parts of the Star Town with your skin intact, I'd suggest paying these nice, handsome Aslan 1,000 credits. They'll make
Which
sure you
one?
get home safe.
He's got my protection. If they would like to push me out of my contract, then they're gonna have to do it.
Your contract?
Yeah, I'm looking at me and Tarbin and the fact that both of us are heavily armed. If they want to tell him 1,000 credits and we'll safely get you back to the starport, or don't pay us and we'll ensure you don't get back to the starport, then I'm basically saying I already have a contract to get Calvir back to the spaceport, and if they want to shake him down, they're gonna have to go through me and Tarbin.
Give
You
me...
said Aslan. Did you mean Vargyar?
No,
Her two
two?
toughs are Aslans.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
they're the cat people.
Okay, right.
Lion
okay.
people, thank you very much.
In this case, tabbies is what I'm gonna call them.
And we're fighting now. No, I'm just kidding. You owe me 4 dice. Sounds like force of will. So
Oh,
times 2, 6. Plus 3, because you do have superiority on them. So,
what page is it?
184. 3, 6 plus 3 is 9. And... or violence, either way. But superior, because you are way above them in social standing.
What law did you?
Superiority.
Oh, that's a. Oh, I meant tactic. So I see force of will.
Force of will under command, yeah.
That's the strategy. What's the tactic? The multiplier.
I was thinking like logic or authority. Or insult, I suppose, is another way to put it.
I'll do insult, yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, violence, which means I get to use fighter, but also means, hey, if this fails...
You're fighting, yeah.
I get to use fighter even more. So that's 9 plus 3 from the law.
Nine plus your fighter, by the sound of it?
Yeah.
On 4 dice.
Oh, and I think pain means you actually have to be inflicting pain, not that you're threatening pain, right?
Right, you have to actually be inflicting it.
Then that's a failure. So... Because it's 9 plus 4 is 13.
I could maybe assist you here if I say something, but I don't know. If it's 4 points worth of saying something, you know.
I mean, that's fine. That's that's all up to the GM. I'm willing to accept failure here, or I wouldn't have made the threat.
Naturally. But I mean, Calvary's not a Nancy. He's been on Hellworlds. Like, he's seen stuff.
I hope so. I think you're about to have to use that gun.
Let's hope I won't. Because, oof.
I would like you to give me social standing plus diplomat 4 dice.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yep.
Dear me. I have 0 in diplomat.
You get +1, it's one of your life pursuits.
Actually, yeah, +1. But if it's... How many dice did you say?
4, so now 5 because this is hard.
Okay.
As you try desperately to smooth this over.
I'm off by 2. I'm gonna try using my luck.
Okay.
Make it. Yeah, I hit the luck.
As you try to, it is clear that as Calcian's trying to intimidate this lady in the Aslan and the other patrons in the bar, and she's doing her growls, and the Aslan are turning around to look at you guys, and you're getting the sense that the tension's getting a lot heated, and there's a fight starting to break out. You start saying some things, trying to smooth things over. You do your normal fast talk patter that you do sometimes, and they start saying stuff, and they don't say it outright. The tension's still there by the time you're done talking about it, but the thing they're mad about the most, it isn't that Calcian's challenging them. That's not why they're about to kill you or beat you up and rob you. The thing they're mad about is your comment that you're surrounded by animals, implying in the most Villani superiority fashion that the Vargir, the Aslan, and the Ursine are lesser species. They're not here to kill Calcian, they want to kill you.
Aren't they? I mean, okay.
So
Once all this talking is done, I'll just, I'll poke Tarban and Calcian until I get the hell out of here. Just throw one last line in there. I've pissed radiation and I've shat blood on Hellworlds. I don't think what were they called again? The race?
Aslan.
I don't think
No, that's how you should say it to them.
Yeah. I've pissed blood. I've pissed radiation and I've shat blood on Hellworlds, and I don't think two Aslanders can really put the fear of God into me. The fear has already left me a long time ago. Good evening.
And you're fighting. Unless you are trying to run away from this place.
Walk away at a brisk pace.
The bar is getting up to kill you. The bar. All the Aslan in the room and some of the others who saw that conversation are coming over to kick your ass.
My plan is a fighting retreat, but I'm not gonna.
Can I step in?
Do they all have weapons?
Oh, they're armed, yeah.
With what?
Also,
A variety of items.
Melee?
A variety of items.
I'll pull my gun out then. If I got range, I'll have I'll hold it up threatening and you take one more step, I'm going to fucking shoot.
So the main question is...
That might have been a misunderstanding on my part. When they were described as like they stand out, like they're not normal to this bar. I didn't think that every table had two Aslan sitting in.
No, it's not every table, but the Aslan that are in the room, like even if you take a couple of them, a good chunk of the bar is getting up, and their friends who like their Aslan buddies who are getting up going, hey, who the hell is this guy? Who's this Villani telling us what's what? So it's not all Aslan getting up, it's a bunch of bar guys. Some people are staying the hell out of it. This is like, not my circus, not my monkeys, I'm staying out of this. Or some people are just leaving because they know a bunch of people about to fight you. The misunderstanding was that you thought it was just the three of them who would fight you. That was the miscalculation.
But yeah, I'll hold the gun up and I'll point it around everyone, just trying to keep everyone at bay. I'm not gonna shoot while slowly backing out.
The question here is either you're fleeing, like running for your life, or you're sitting here and fighting. Those are your two options, because the attempt to intimidate has failed.
I see.
Yeah,
and your attempt at diplomacy fell short. You know why they're mad. You know the one thing that would get you out of this is if you apologize profusely to this lady for the insult.
I'm Villani, I won't do that.
Well, there you go. So either you're...
Yeah,
and Neok, you could be nearby, like approaching the bar. So you could be like outside the door or in the doorway.
Yeah, I've been tracking them on my tablet.
Yeah.
This is your traveling company.
well, So are we doing this?
That's the question. Are you fighting or are you running?
I'm not running. I will fight them and move back as the fight goes on, but I'm not turning and running. So if this looks like it's going into a fight, then I'm gonna pull a Han and try to shoot her first and fight our way out of this. I'm not interested. I don't think we're interested in capturing the bar, fighting to control the bar, but we're not gonna turn and run, which means we're gonna fight as we leave, which still means that we're fighting, right?
Yeah.
I think.
More brawl, less an actual throwdown. You're trying to fight your way out and get clear of the area.
Well, what is the bear thing?
I guess brawl would be the wrong word, because if they're gonna use violence, I will go straight to lethal violence.
I get you.
Yeah.
What does the bear think?
I don't know, man. I'm just an animal. I mean, what do you
He's
want
gonna
from
shoot you and join them.
Dang it.
me? Yeah, It wasn't just those guys you insulted, man.
You know the comment wasn't like that. God dang it!
Well, then maybe apology is the route you should go for, says
Man,
Tarbin Arctos.
I'm not apologizing to these. Now they are actually animals because they resort to violence.
I like
Prove your
You
civility.
pulled a gun.
I like how we're super diplomatic until we no longer have a tanky fighter, and then we start insulting people in situations we can't get out of. We've done this 4 weeks ago.
Diplomacy enters the door.
At present, the only way for these people, you see the bars up and ready to pile onto Tristan. Tristan is shouting insults and waving his gun around. Halcyan's getting ready to fight as well. Tarbin seems to be saying stuff.
I think unless Calvir starts to like this instant apologize, I'm gonna start shooting people.
So Neoken's gonna turn his translator up to max, jump up on a table, and yell. Because he has broken up fights before.
What skill would you like to try to use for this?
Leader, please.
Okay, give me... I was going to make it 5 dice, but you're not a humanity, so I'll make it 4 dice, leader, social standing.
For a total of...
And it's 4 dice higher than your leader.
4 dice is higher than my leader.
So it goes to 5 dice, because this is hard to get this many people to chill the hell out.
Well, it's been nice knowing you guys. Could have been worse, but it is not a success.
What
How
was
close
your
are you?
target number?
I'm 4 off.
Does anyone have 4 leadership to assist this?
Oh,
Good
I
God,
might
no.
actually be close. You'll never guess. I'm at 2+1 leadership. So, no, I can't. I'm just the tiniest sliver away from. I think all of our. I think we failed in every way that you could fail to stop this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could chef my way out of this. That's the only thing I could think to add that would add 4.
You'll be chefing after this with all these dead Vargar, right?
Ugh. Tarbin looks for a back door.
Tarbin can try to escape.
I'm just trying to note if there's another entrance or exit.
There's a door. There's the door that Neok came in on, and then there's a door to the back room, which could be an exit back there, but you don't know.
That's fair enough.
You know what? I'm gonna take the L this time. I'm gonna try and flee. Fuck it. If I flee, maybe the rest won't get fucked by it, so I'll just go and run.
You're gonna start shit and run?
Yeah, fuck it. I'm
Well,
gonna take the L. Like, what can I do? What else can we do?
He is a Volani.
Can we join with everybody in the thing and go hunt Calvir down?
Hey, what do you want me to do? Do you want to fight? Do you want to die? Like, because Tarbin's not gonna help us.
Tarbin didn't say he was running.
I'm trying to help you and Tarbin survive both by running away because it's me they're after.
Yeah,
not
they
you.
won't. They'll just attack if Calvir, in theory, especially and Calvir did get that temperature. Is like if he leaves, the fight follows him. He's the one they want to hurt, and if you manage to lose him, you've lost them. As long as no one attacks them, they're not going to attack you. They're definitely not going to attack Tarbin. They weren't going to in the first place. But if anyone else other than Calvir starts doing stuff to them, like even Neok isn't starting anything. He just shouted at them really loudly with his vocator to cut it out, and they just ignored him. But Calvir, you could in theory run for it. And
Yes, you know, I'll take the L. I'll run. Like, I started shit, I'll run. Because I can't fight.
I guess I'll hold fire long enough to see if he makes it away.
Give me
I have athletics.
Yeah, that's
Or
supposed to be-
athlete.
Athlete, yep. It's going to be. Does anyone else have athlete? By chance?
I think.
No, but I
It's a
don't think
default
anyone else
0.
is trying to run.
No, I was trying to see if anyone else could help him with his escape.
No athlete here.
No.
I took a course at college.
Again,
However, you know-
there was someone who could have helped you, but you decided to start shit after they left.
It's amazing. But give me. I wouldn't say the formidable to get out of here. You just need to. It's just a bar full of people who want to hurt you. You're just trying to run from them. Brain. Wow, my brain just shut right off. There we go. And I want to know. No. I'm gonna call this 3 dice endurance athlete.
Well, I can't fail.
You can get 3 6s.
Yeah. Highly unlikely. Not as unlikely as I might have thought, but I did it.
Run, and the bar, a good chunk of the bar gets up and runs after him.
Tarbin will lay down a 10 credit piece on the table, look at Anko and go, $10 on the skinny human.
Shrugs. You're on. Drinks.
Betting. I wanna join.
Yeah.
Turns down the translator again.
I want to join. Ah!
Yeah. Start a betting pool. Yeah.
I will go for 50 on one of the Aslan boys.
You bid against me? You little shit.
Now, I'm telling you, that's a mistake. That's a mistake, Biak. Professor's wiry. Wiry, I tell you.
I have enough money to throw around.
All right. Tarpon will light a cigar to mask some of the smells in this place.
And the smells just hit Neok. If he could vomit, then he would. But now it just sweats profusely instead.
How's Langhoff taking all this? Now that all the attention basically fled the room and Angle is just chilling with you, with what's left of the bar now.
I mean, I would like to know if the job's still on. If we fucked that up royally.
No, we hired the slicer. We're good there. This was a whole different thing. This was Calvert calling most of the people in the bar, and by extension me, animals, and that's just not a way to be.
Well, he said.
Thank you for live tweeting that to me, by the way.
Yeah, he said he called everybody around him animals, but there were more than that. Like I was around him, right?
If I may correct you all about what I said I'm traveling with animals. Therefore, by extension, I only called Tarbin an animal because you were talking about eating flesh, dude. Not cool.
No, I never said that. I was talking about preserving meat. Also, that could be taken as like the people you're traveling with are animals.
Perhaps they are.
This week
I'm gonna take a
Wrong
guess.
island.
I'm gonna take a guess that this person probably speaks Tzoltan, Anglic, and Vargar, and probably does not speak Samagal, right?
Who knows?
All right, well, I'm gonna holster the pistol and because Tarbin speaks Samagal, don't they?
Nope.
Oh, never mind then.
I speak Zedetl. I speak Shadani. Seriously, that whole animal shit happens a lot around you. Like first, it was your old friend talking about you and the old friend talking about bears as if we were still just bears in the desert planet, and now this shit.
We're
I swear, some-
Vellani, what do you expect? You don't
Well-
rule the largest empire in the galaxy by not being racist.
Second law.
I'll tell you what I'll do is
The Ward of
I'll-
Restoration might disagree.
I'll look at Tarbin and as I holster the pistol and say,
God.
I think a shareholder meeting is in order after I clean this shit off from this place, and I'll leave.
You wanna grab a drink? Neok to Tarbin.
not here. Are the Vellani a separate people? A separate federation?
No,
They're the founders of the Imperium.
I thought
The
that
first
was
Imperium.
The Salayans. Oh, the Vellani were the founders of the first Imperium. Okay.
Yeah, well, the Salayans are, they speak Valan. They are Vellani, or Vellani come from the Salayan kingdom.
Okay.
I believe so.
Now, it sounded like the Salayans were started the third Imperium. That grew out of their republic.
Ooh.
Because I think their language is like Salaya or something.
Oh, you might be right. Okay. Oh, helps if I Googled the right word.
In any event, I'm going to stick around long enough to figure out if I won or lost my bet.
Same.
And I will try to convince what's her face to store her meat better, and about the dangers of freezer burn and how it ruins the taste of things.
Okay, Calvier, you have managed to run away from the area. There are still 2 more people chasing after you. You've lost a good chunk of the bar just because you're moving way too fast.
Okay, is this in some sort of populated area that I'm running away from them?
You're not in an alleyway per se, but one of the side streets.
Okay, I mean, is there a large crowd anywhere that I can blend in with?
There is up ahead if you can get to the main street, yeah.
Yeah, get up to the main street, blend in with the crowd.
Intelligence plus a relevant skill. We'll call it 3. It'd normally be 2, but you're doing this in haste. You're trying to quickly lose these people.
A relevant skill... be athlete again.
To hide? Wouldn't take that. I'd take something like... well, streetwise for 1, but there's something about hiding stuff. But athlete
Stealth?
wouldn't do it.
I don't have stealth, but... I don't actually think I have anything I could apply here.
Actor would probably is the one where you blend into crowds.
Screw that then, I'll just keep running. It's what I'm good at, I guess.
Give me endurance plus athlete. Yeah, 3 dice again. I have no reason to turn it up higher. So it's just Matt. We're just checking to make sure you're not getting triple
Yeah,
sixes.
I make it.
Cool. You run through the crowd. Eventually, the fact that, yes, there were a lot of them, but they weren't exactly like star athletes or anything. They were a bunch of drunks and hackers in a bar and some toughs who are not used to having to chase. They're used to having someone sit there and trade, or they ambush you. But yeah, eventually you get clear. And you're kind of in one of the many streets of the Star Town.
Head back to the TAS lounge, quickest way I can.
And then you feel a little queasy in your stomach. You get a slight headache. And then people look at you as you seem to be acting a little weird. And before your very eyes, you vanish. And we'll end there. For everyone watching, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing, thank you very much for playing. And we'll see what I've done to the poor professor next time. At least I didn't kill him. Yay.
What?